far. Now I dwell in the sand like a fish on land. Like a fish on land. Must be hell, no more cookies in this jar. Did I take it too far? Now I dwell in the sand like a fish on land. Take it too far, now I dwell in the sand like a fish on land. But I'm deep, deep down on the bottom of a well. I don't belong, can't you tell? This place must be hell. No more cookies in this jar. Did I take it too far? Now I dwell in the sand like a fish on land.
time's up to say goodbye to all the haters, doubters, and non-believers trying to bring you down. In the blink of an eye, you'll realize that there's so much more to the book than the page you were stuck on. Finally, you will be free to live a life you love living instead of the life you think other people want you to live. Remember, you are the highest authority when it comes to knowing what you want and what you love. So stop trading yourself for the approval from others. Ladies and gentlemen, weirdos and geeks, please repeat after me. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a I don't give a fuck. 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 It's time to start doing the right thing. So trust your instinct. Stop listening to others and own your decisions. People will always tell you what to do, and how to live. So let's create space for what matters most to you. You'll be glad you did. Now start claiming your time and your mental well-being by saying no more. No more. Say it loudly and proudly. In other words, fuck you. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Target acquired.
Eagle 1, first strike. You have permission to engage the target.
Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Welcome, 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 folks. How are we tonight? Let's see who we got out there in the chat. The chat looks like it's been brewing for a little while. Let's take a look here. There we go. All right, so Shelby, you were first, which is you're kind of cheating because you know when I put this up because I send you the links. Adam Ant is in the house. Two Wills is in the house. R. Allen is in the house. Smoking Spaceman, what's up, buddy? How are you tonight? Smoking Space. Midnight Newton, pardon me. Fredo Fonzarelli, Raging Patriot, 1776. And let's see who else. Tiki Tack is in the house. It's going to be a light night probably because Rob Knorr is doing his 24-hour feed. I was over there watching it myself. It was good. It was fun. It's exciting. Pretty good anyway. It was at the beginning. I think it's kind of, obviously it's easy to get good guests on during the prime times. Not so easy when it's not prime time. So that's what it is. That's funny. It's gonna be a chill stream tonight, guys. Hopefully, we can get some people in here that want to come up and talk about some really good stuff. You just came from there, yeah. I assume that people be wandering over here, as the show goes on, because not that Rob's getting boring or anything, but I was over there for like 4 hours a day, so at least I was out working a bunch and doing stuff. So it was really good. The show last night ended up being pretty good. If you didn't catch it, it's probably worth a view, um, on the and maybe worth watching again, just to make sure that you actually understand all the stuff that happened last night. It was pretty funny. Um, the tomato, Sarah got a little tipsy, maybe a little more than tipsy. I don't know. It's not my place to guesstimate, but it was a pretty good show last night. I had a great time, and it's pretty okay. I sent the link out to a bunch of people. Hopefully, we'll have some other people wander in, and we'll have a great show. Wednesday night show, guys. I'll repeat this as we move along. Wednesday night show will be with Scott Fabian Liberty. He is an anarcho-capitalist. He's an ANCAP, if you will. We're not really going to debate anything. We're just going to have a good discussion based around what exactly ANCAP is, his idea of what the election results are, or are look like they're going to be, at least, because we should have some clue by then. I don't think we're going to know anything about the election until probably Thursday or Friday, because there will be some delay somewhere. And we're going to have a good time with all of that on Wednesday. Again, tonight's show is just a chill stream. I hope I don't get too boring. I actually hope that it's a really good show. I hope I was. Unfortunately, I think a lot of the cool people were up a little late last night, and are probably still in bed sleeping it off. Raging Patriot, I agree with you, man. 4 to 5 hours on us is about all I can take of any given stream. I don't know that I've ever watched more than that. What's up, Stepfire? How are you, sir? You're welcome to come up. We haven't had you up on the show for a while, so you're welcome to come up, and I'm sure we can find something cool to talk about. But it's an interesting thing. I think the way the election is going in my state, we've had an amazing number of people vote in early. In my county, we've had an amazing number of people vote in early voting, and it's an all timer, guys. It is for all time. It is crazy what's going on. You shaved for the first time. Well, now you got to come up. Come on, man, guys. Peer pressure. Peer pressure. Man shaved. We got to see it. We got to see it. What's up, Michigan Christian? You'd be a good one to have come up too. I don't know. I'm just look. If you guys want to come up, that'd be great. Good to see you, MC. Hope everything's going well for you. Okay, kids are what? Hey, man, I get that. I actually just had to have a discussion with my oldest that I told him that he can stay up as late as he wants, but he has to wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning, or has to be awake at 8 o'clock in the morning. You did what? Oh, now hey, somebody get him a link. Somebody get that man a link. We got to hear about this. I got to hear. I don't have my lights right tonight. How's the lighting, guys? Is the lighting good? Because actually it's a little messed up. I can reset it really quick if I need to. That's okay. You can be careful. You can tiptoe. That's okay. I don't mind. I don't mind at all, bro. All right. Yeah, I have the lighting. The lighting is a little weird tonight because I forgot. I was was another day of just work, and I had to go down and take care of some things. I had to go to Winchester this morning, take care of some things, come back, and and then I had a bunch of work I felt like I needed to catch up on, and just try to get some stuff done. Even once I finished the stream, I still have some things to take care of. What are my final predictions for the elections? Here's what I got, guys. Based on what I saw when I went and voted the other day, based on what I saw, uh, um, I just looked up. I just looked up the numbers for the early voting numbers in my county. They were massive. We have about 2.1 million votes in Tennessee in early voting. In my county, we had 117,000 votes cast. That's crazy. That's crap. That's crazy. Just in my county. So it's going to be crazy. What I think is, I think one way or the other, it's going to be a landslide. I personally am predicting Trump carries it. I don't think he's going to turn Virginia red, but I do think he's probably going to turn. It's going to be closer than the Dems like by a lot. Because now keep in mind, even with all of the early voting that's gone on, and there's been a ton, even with all of that, we still have a lot to go. Still got a lot to go. I just don't think Virginia. I think he is going to carry Georgia this year. Do you hold the blue wall from Dems? Oh, for the Dems. Not sure what you're. I don't know. You have to define that a little better. I don't hold a wall, but I think what's going to happen is Trump's going to win pretty big margin. And I think that I think next Friday, this time next week, there will be lawsuits announced against Trump. By this time next week, there's going to be lawsuits. They're going to try and sentence him 2 weeks after the election, I think, so that he cannot be sworn in. I think they're literally going to try every dirty trick in the book. However, I don't know that it's going to work. I think because we have way better lawyers this time, I think the conservatives are far less trusting of anybody, and I think that we have much better lawyers in place now, calling people on everything. I mean, they're literally everywhere, calling everyone on everything. If votes are destroyed, the lawyers are right there. And I think that that's one of the things about early voting that I do agree with. So typically I don't agree with early voting. I'm a 1-day vote guy. But the problem that we have is that we have a lot, especially if you see like what we're looking at now, 2.1 million people just in early voting in Tennessee alone. I mean, it's a massive undertaking to do that all in one day. Now, I have personal reason or personal insights into that I think are important. Like I personally believe that I personally believe that we should not have as many voters. I think that we really should look into citizens only can vote, and there has to be some qualification system, like you have to own property, you have to employ people. You have to have had government, specific kinds of government service. And I don't think that'll ever, um, I don't think that'll ever really happen, but that's what I would like to see. But until then, the early voting really helps get the numbers up really high. And you can argue there are two sides to that as well. Hmm. Yeah. What do you guys think about what do you think about all the leftists out there losing their minds right now? What do you think about that? I mean, have you seen the nonstop barrage of leftist shows or streams, I should say? Nonstop, man. Like it's crazy. It's absolutely nuts what's going on right now. I mean, it brings me subtle joy. That's funny. That's fucking funny. I don't know that they're crybabies, Damien. I I don't know that we could really classify them as crybabies. I think that it's more like that they are. I think that they don't like feeling out of control. I think they. I think that they really felt like they were going to have. First of all, I don't think that I think they felt like they weren't going to be facing Trump this time around. When it came out that they were going to be facing Trump, they didn't take it very seriously because in their mind, Trump really is a criminal. He really is this bad a person, and everybody is crazy for voting for him. What's up, Chris Lestrange? Hey man, it's a chill stream, so that means we can get like 4 people up on panel. I'm not really monologuing tonight. I'm just kind of sitting here spitballing with the chat. Guys, by the way, I'm forced by my marital unit, known as my wife, to remind everyone that I pay for this show out of my own pocket, and any help is much appreciated. It's getting to where it actually costs real money, and so she's starting to give me the side eye about spending so much money on my hobby, which isn't actually that much, but still, you know how it is. So if you guys can afford to, don't if you can't afford to, but if you can't afford to throw me a few bucks, that'd be great. And I have lowered the TTS down to $10 American, so that you TTS through. You can TTS to your heart's delight. It's not as good as on whatever because I don't have any whores on here to smack around, but that's okay. What's up, MC? How are you doing, sir?
Good evening.
Good evening.
All right.
Cool, man. Cool. That's awesome.
Except my Michigan team lost to Oregon, and I spent 2 hours and 45 minutes in line to vote. Other than that,
which sport? I do not follow games.
It's the only team that really matters for U of M. That's football.
I got you. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So you want to hear about what happened earlier?
Yeah, man. Why don't you run that down? I'm going to cam down a minute and adjust my lights. It's really bugging me. So
okay,
but I'm listening. I'm right here on the mic.
So I'm not going to dox myself as to what area of Michigan I'm in, but basically, there's a major candidate running for a congressional district, and she showed up to this enormous early voting line that was for the whole city essentially, and handed out pizzas to everybody in line with her and her team, and that's a no-go. And I asked her who paid for them. She said the Michigan Democrat Party, and they were within 100 feet of the door, which is the law, and I did get it on video. And I presume there's video from the polling location as well where it was at. And Yeah, there was some other things too. There was a New York Times reporter there that was asking questions about who people were going to vote for on the way in, which is not exit polling. There's some questions as to whether or not that was legal, but that person was within a very close distance to the door. That was a New York Times reporter. When I asked her who she was, she wouldn't say. So yeah, there was some shenanigans going on. But
Shenanigans.
ultimately, buying pizza for voters when they know your face and you're telling them who paid for it is not okay.
So I don't know about Michigan, but Tennessee has a law that there can be no campaigning, not even signs within. It's a pretty good piece. I want to say it's like 500 feet of the polling place.
Yeah, I think here it's 100 feet. It should be longer. I don't understand why, because the other part of it is too is it shouldn't be from the doors. It should be from the line because, for example, this line was extremely long and it went well past the doors. And it's not okay to just go, okay, we're at part of the line that is past 100 feet. Like that's the
Yeah.
whole reason why that rule exists. It's the color of the law, not the letter of the law, but it still should matter.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a pretty simple thing to follow as well. Just don't do that.
Yeah. So I confronted the election chair, asked him to point out where the 100-foot marker was, and he kind of guessed. But then when I asked him to make sure that it was accurate, uh, he disappeared. And then when I found him later, I actually spoke to the assistant clerk for the city who was there, who I happened to have known already. And I told her essentially what was going on with the New York Times reporter. But when I got further up, I asked the election official, the election chair, if he had addressed the issue with the pizzas. And he said that he had informed the city clerk who was there at that time. And I said, and what was the response? He said, well, as far as we know, it wasn't within the 100 feet. And I said, well, actually, I have video of this. I said, would you like to see it? And he said, I'm really busy right now. You'll have to show her. I said, so you're not interested in the video? He said, no, you'll have to show the city clerk, who, by the way, was all the way in the front of the line behind all the other things. There's no way to get to that, essentially, unless you wait through the whole line. So he declined to look at it. And then when I went up there and talked to the assistant city clerk, she had mentioned that she will mention it to the actual clerk. And I contacted the county election chair and informed him, sent him a picture, and told him to follow up with me. And he said he was going to look into it. So supposedly there are people looking into it. And if not, there are other options as well. But I know Mike Lindell and True the Vote's got some stuff, some links set up for people to submit things. But ultimately, from the circles that I run in, the paths that I submitted it to were the appropriate ones. And I also contacted a council member for the city council and informed them what was going on as well. So, and some of the candidates that are down ballot of the Republican candidate that matches that congressional district as well. So it was a busy day, and it's kind of
like
disgusting when you see the Democrat candidate giving pizzas away, trying to earn favor, of what you're trying to fight against. Yeah. And I asked what the repercussions or something like this is, and it doesn't. I haven't heard a solid answer, but it doesn't sound like they're very high. Like you would think that would be almost criminal or disqualifying, or
What's
maybe
criminal?
not disqualifying, but a fine would not be appropriate in this situation, in my opinion.
It probably is like $100 fine or something.
Yeah, which, if you think about it, I mean, if that changes the outcome of the election, I mean, that's insignificant.
It's pretty ballsy, honestly.
Well, I
Because
mean,
if
not
somebody
really.
I mean, if somebody like I don't know, um, Charlie Kirk or Shapiro or somebody like that got a hold of footage of somebody doing somebody doing something like that, and just like played it nonstop on the Daily Wire and Hill's the whatever Charlie Kirk's thing is, um, it would be pretty insane, right? If it's just
Yeah,
like
if it was the other way around, I mean, we'd get roasted.
yeah,
I mean, you get Benson and Dana Nessel coming after you, trying to put you in prison.
yeah, yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. So what else? What's your prediction for next week?
I actually, I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to eat these words, but I actually do think that Trump has Michigan. Um,
Yeah, I
I,
think
I,
so.
I think it'll still be close. Unfortunately, I'm not sure how close, but it really is gonna come down to, especially Detroit. I know there's a lot of people focusing on election integrity over in Detroit based on what happened last time.
Yeah,
And Detroit is pretty much the one that'll screw us if it's anybody. So uh, I don't visit Detroit very often. I try to stay out of there, so I don't really know what the pulse is over there. But I do know that Dearborn, Hamtramck areas is not necessarily for the Democrats as much as they used to be, based
mm,
on the war situation going on in the Middle East.
hmm
So I don't know where that pulse is, but I can tell you that the rest of the state, I think, based on now versus the lockdowns or that era of voting, I think there's definitely some differences here, and I think um, Steph, you seriously doubt it, huh? But it was close during the last election, which
yeah.
was unique. So, and I really think that I don't know, man. I really think that it's going to turn back again, but it's going to be close.
I mean, when I look at it, I mean, and this is just kind of anecdotal at best, but without the unions coming out and endorsing a candidate, I mean, it's tough to take Michigan if there's not that threat of the auto workers union and the Teamsters just over your head. You
Yeah,
know.
I've talked to some guys in the union, and in this rally he just had in Warren, I think it was last night. He had mentioned he had some people up that were auto workers, and
Mm,
they're just basically saying Stellantis is going to try to move everything to Mexico, and I think by and large, union workers are going to vote for Trump. It's the leadership that's always the
yeah, I
hard
think so.
part, and I think it was what Teamsters that backed Trump as well, right?
No, so historically, the unions have always backed the Democrat, but this
Yes.
time, because Kamala's record is so bad and there's so much positive sentiment towards Trump, they just they were backing Biden, but once Biden dropped, it was done. They're not endorsing anybody, and there's just no. I just think that the reason that you will if they don't take Michigan outright, it's going to be like the closest it's been in years, right? Like it's going to be really really interesting.
It
You
was
see what I'm saying?
probably about 2 or 3 months ago. There was a union that came out and supported Trump. I can't remember who it was.
I think the Longshoremen's Union is um, I don't know if they've come out and publicly said that they'll support Trump, but I think that they mean that they will.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't support Trump if your rank and file is supporting Trump, other
yeah,
than political connections. but I don't know what they would have to lose. I mean, unless they're afraid of these politicians making it more difficult. But I mean, honestly, the union has the power in that situation, in my opinion, because they know that if the Democrats betray them, they can just go to the Republican Party.
Right, and I think that I think that you can't discount the fact that there's a growing sentiment among union workers that Trump is very much like them, right? He has had trouble with women. I mean, there's no way that they can identify with Kamala. That's the biggest problem. They look at Camel Toe and they're like, this person can't possibly see and understand anything that I go through. So I just don't. I think that's their biggest mistake. I just think it's a huge mistake for them to do that.
Yeah.
He has Border Patrol union support. I'm sure that's true.
Stepfire, I was talking about the contrast to 2020, the last presidential election.
Yeah. What do you think about, what do you think going forward? Let's just say that Trump walks it on this and on, we go to the polls Tuesday. I think it's going to take them a Friday to make an announcement. Friday they announce that Trump is the man. He's done it again. He's in the office. Done deal. What do you think happens next?
The lawsuits start.
You think it's going to take that long?
I think that, man, I think some states, here's what I think. I think we're going to have enough states to be able to at least make an assumption that Trump will win. But I think you're going to have some close states where you're going to have some legal issues. I personally, I mean, if we're talking about Congress or, anything official, I don't know. I don't know how long that's going to take. I'm more worried about him getting assassinated after he gets in, but, that's just me.
I mean, yeah, I mean, once they have the real Secret Service in place, that's no problem. But how about this? Let's just throw this out there. Tuesday comes, everybody votes. Super Tuesday, whatever they call it now. They don't call it whatever, but we go in Tuesday and we vote. And I'm assuming you've already voted. Have you did early voting?
Yeah.
Okay. How busy do you think it's going to be on Tuesday?
Not very.
Okay.
I mean, I think more people have voted in early voting this year
than ever.
Yeah, so it's got to be slow in the polling locations, in my opinion.
Yeah. So let's just say that Trump certified Friday. I think so. There's already a plan, and somebody will know more about this than I do. There's already a plan to basically have Trump's sentencing hearing on something, and 2 weeks after the election. And the idea is they're going to put him in jail so that he cannot, so he can't go through the process.
Well, but then would it be J.D. Vance?
Right. Well, J.D. Vance could, but yeah. So Trump can't be confirmed as president because he'll be in jail, and then they're going to try and throw the whole get the whole election thrown out. And I agree with Stepfire. I think they fear JD more than they do Trump. Evan, why don't you and Stepfire come up here and join the chat, man?
I actually disagree with Stepfire on this one. I don't think they do, and here's why. This happened last time with Pence. I was at this time in college at university,
Hmm.
and I was in a poli sci class at the time, and the whole class, obviously, mostly almost entirely liberal, as well as the teacher. Uh,
Hmm.
when they mentioned the name Pence, everyone scoffed. That's how much they hated him. But then, and so she mentioned Trump right before that, and so when she mentioned Pence, everybody goes, "That's even worse. He's even worse than Trump." But then, if you look at what actually happened, uh, they would have taken Pence over Trump the whole time after. I think it was more of an opportunity to diss Pence more than they actually meant. And I think it's the same thing with JD Vance as well. I think in their minds Trump is the worst thing ever. And if you ask them if Pence is worse, they might say yes, but I don't think they actually mean it.
Well, but Pence was a nothing. But JD Vance is. I actually agree with Stepfire. I think that the Democrats' worst fear is Vance ascending the throne, so to speak.
I think they fear him becoming president after Trump. I would agree in that sense,
Yeah,
in the long
I,
term
I
goal.
I think well, I think they're afraid of him as vice president. I honestly think that they're more concerned about what Vance is going to do um, as vice president almost more than what they think than what they're afraid Trump will do. They know that Trump will be a lot of talk and a lot of positioning, and he'll get a lot of things done, but it'll just be a little bit of talk and positioning. Vance has the potential to actually execute a lot of that stuff, work with a lot of people that can help him get elected next time. He's going to be working directly with Elon and RFK and some other people, and that sets him up really well for the next election. And they really hate Vance's popularity, and they hate his story.
Well, let's say it is true that they dislike him more than Trump. I still think that will not stop them from going after Trump.
Hmm.
I think that they would try to take out Trump no matter what, and then they would just
Hmm.
go after JD Vance. That's what would happen. So I think it's to some degree
Hmm.
irrelevant because it's not going to stop them from going after Trump.
Hmm.
I do think
Yeah,
Stepfire is right though. He is sharp. He is for
yeah,
sure
no,
sharp.
he's ridiculously sharp. I mean, he really not, and not only does he actually understand all the stuff that he's talking about, which is rare. Um, you know, he can communicate it to people in such a way that they absolutely understand it, and I think that's. I mean, Dems aren't used to having a candidate like Vance is young. So the real problem with Vance is that he's young, and
Hmm.
he will appeal to a bunch of different demographics. Um,
Well, they
so
won't stop. I mean, that's the good thing about having two is they can only attack so much. They did that with Trump. They never stopped. Pretty much, it's been ongoing ever
mhm.
since he
Yeah,
took office,
absolutely.
or even before that. So, I mean, ultimately, by Vance being there, it doesn't really change anything because they're just still going to come after both of them, particularly Trump. If Trump
Yeah.
ends up being, going through this whole presidency, then it just becomes Vance, depending on who he has as vice president.
Hmm.
But yeah, at that point, I think Vance is definitely uh, a target number one for them for sure. And I think at that point, he would be even more dangerous than Trump to them.
Mm, yeah. Yep. It's an interesting dynamic. I really feel like that. What we're really going to see, and I'm we'll probably move on from the election here in a second. But I think we're really going to see just an amazing amount of nonsense and maneuvering from the left, like we have never seen before. So
Yeah, Shelby, I have not seen the one with Rogan. I imagine it probably was really good though.
yeah, nobody wants to come up. This is crazy. You guys are normally like jumping up here like.
Stepfire, you can bring your 5-year-old.
No, Stepfire actually has. I get that. I get that. Um, but yeah, it's okay. We'll carry it, man. We'll carry the show. We got it. Got to put on our shoulders. What I think is interesting is um this is, I think, maybe the first year that I've seen a lot of conservatives really hammering. Like, and it may just be the first year that we've been able to, because like I run my mouth. Rob Noor has been nonstop. Andrew, to some degree, has been nonstop. There's been so many people that are like just making the noise, man, and really using the leftist techniques against against themselves, right? Like they they're not able to really hide, I guess, is what is the way I would look at it. They just can't.
Yeah, and I think like Elon, RFK, Tulsi, all these people basically abandoning the Democrat Party and trying to bring people, to the light, so to speak.
Mhm.
But it's not just things that we've done right or things that conservatives or Republicans have done to get the support. I think also the Democrats and Biden and Kamala in particular
Yeah.
have shot themselves in the foot. So I mean, it's not just what we've done; it's what they've done to themselves.
Um, yeah. Evan O'Brien, it would indeed be weird for you to join from your washroom. So take your time, buddy. Take your time. But I just think it's interesting this year. And I look, I know that some guys feel like that they've been silenced because they've been, vocal about who to vote for and stuff. But I don't know that it's as true this year. I think that it's just a different dynamic in social media. It's totally different, I think, than 2020.
Yeah, a little bit. I think the dynamic is a little different too because you don't have the jab talk as much being censored. But I mean, I
Yeah.
googled Trump rally last night, or no, I YouTube searched it, and all I got was the Madison Square Garden racism, blah blah
Oh,
blah blah
interesting.
blah, and that was all I got. It was like they clearly wanted you to see just that bit and be offended, and it's like I just wanted to watch the Trump rally that was going on, And I went to Rumble, and sure enough, it's right there with RSBN. So yeah, I
That's
do. I do think they're manipulating. I think they got better at it, and then it's more subtle. But I definitely think
yeah.
it's still there.
Oh no, definitely they push the stuff down, but at the same time, it's 100% like people are not getting just kicked off YouTube like they were. They're not getting deplatformed on Facebook like they were. Like in the last election, man, I know so many people that were getting kicked off of. I myself got like a 3-day timeout for a couple of Trump memes.
Well, I think part
So,
of it is they've already kicked everybody out that they wanted to kick out. So I think they have less people to do that for. I mean,
Joe
most
Mobley, get
people.
up here, man. Get up here and
Yeah,
talk
Joe.
trash. We're talking trash. Get on up here.
Yeah, I think most of the people that they wanted off are already off to some degree. Like Crowder's still, as far as I know, over Rumble. A
Yeah,
lot of
that's a
people
big
have been
problem.
kicked out.
Is for some reason everybody thinks it's better to go to Rumble, and I think that's stupid.
Well, some of them don't have a choice,
Well, that's true. I mean, they did
and
have a choice, but they don't have a choice.
well, and the ones that do have a choice, are they going to self censor, you know, in order to be on YouTube? And I respect that decision to not do that if that's the case. It's unfortunate, but that's what we get for using YouTube. I mean, it's just like every other argument for
It's
boycotting.
choosing your words carefully is not self-censoring.
It is if you don't say something.
Well, yeah, if you don't say anything at all. But all right, so I don't know if you've seen Beaten Cheeks on this channel. He's always like, "I'm genuine. I say what I want." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm genuine too, but I know better than to say stupid shit that's going to get me deplatformed, right? Like,
Yeah.
I can still say the same exact thing. I just don't say it in a way that gets me deplatformed.
If you're making the same point, then yeah. But if
Yeah.
you're avoiding a point, if you're avoiding
No,
talking about
and
something,
that's my point, is that I would not avoid a point,
hmm.
right? I still talk about all the same stuff. Matter of fact, I push the envelope quite a bit, but you know, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain topics that I know, generally speaking, people avoid on YouTube because they know it'll have negative repercussions.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't think there's free speech on YouTube, and there's an argument behind that. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's even topics that if you go about it without finesse, you'll get flagged or whatever. So, I don't know. I think Rumble's better in that sense. I don't like their UI. There's certain things I don't like.
Everything about Rumble sucks. I
Yeah.
tried Rumble. I streamed to Rumble when I first started, but the user interface sucks. It crashes way too much.
You talk about the
It's
app or the website?
the actual site,
Mm.
where when I go to load it, like half the time I'll like load it and it will just like randomly disconnect, which isn't really a crash, but
No, my thing is, I was on. I think it was Fresh and Fit. I was watching their show a while back. I don't
yeah.
really watch them anymore, but I was watching it, and like the founder of Rumble or one of them was on there, and Fresh Fit said, "Hey, there's so and so in the chat," and the dude's on there asking people what they thought about Rumble and what they would change, things like that. I was like, this is pretty cool. So I told him, I was like, YouTube has a skip forward and skip back that's kind of nice, and you guys don't, or like I didn't like the UI of it. And I just told him, I was like, this is better on YouTube. And next thing you know, they put that shit in. They put it in the fucking website. I was like, wow, they actually listened to what I said. That's crazy. And you don't see that on YouTube.
What's up, Mikey Balls? How are you? Guys, this is a chilled stream tonight. I'm not really talking about anything specific. We got on politics right out of the gate because I have been listening to Rob all day. If you're not aware, Rob's doing a 24-hour stream to get the vote out. He will end it tomorrow. I don't actually know why he's ending the stream on Sunday and not doing the stream on Monday, ending it Tuesday, so you get up and go to vote. But, hey, man, I appreciate the effort.
I can tell you why.
Why?
So I don't know. This might not be this way in other states, but in Michigan, there's no voting on Monday, and so on Sunday, I think it's at 2. Early voting's done, and then it's just in-person voting on Tuesday. That's it.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. So here we ended early voting on Friday. So I've got a really funny story, guys. If you, I'll give you a couple minutes to go get all your friends, because this is fucking hilarious. My son and I were talking about it today, and you guys are going to enjoy this. You're going to laugh your balls off. Hopefully not literally, but somewhat. So my son and I had to go. We went to go pull the one of the boat out of the water at the marina, and of course the battery was completely dead. So we're taking the trailer back to the house to put it away and put a battery on charge so I can go do it tomorrow or Monday. And so I'm talking with my son, and this chipmunk runs across the road in front of the truck, and I'm like, man, I hope he lived, because it's gonna be close, right? And it reminded me of this story about when I was when we were doing the C5R program, and we were running at Road America, and Road America is in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, and it's a really fast track, and so you get, I mean, you're talking 180, 190 miles an hour on parts of that track with the C5R. And at the time we were running a lot of cameras on the car because it's pro racing. We've got news crews that use our footage, and also will actually take the and it goes live on TV a lot. So we have a splitter cam, and the splitter of the car is like 3 inches off the ground, and it's got a camera there that gives you this really cool view of the car, zipping along right over the asphalt, right? And it's got cameras on the front, it's got cameras on the roof, it's got cameras on the back. And I was telling about how at Road America, Phil McClure, who's driving the car, is like just hammering it. He's probably doing 180, 190 miles an hour down the straightaway, and you can see on the splitter cam this little, as we're reviewing tape, this little chipmunk run across the road, and it gets like, it gets out in front of this car, and it just stops, and it just freezes. And I'm like, oh man, we're gonna see this thing get beheaded like live. Of course, we didn't have 4K, but this is gonna be this. I wonder if we had to clean the blood off of that back when that happened. And so I thought we're about to see something really gross. But what actually happens is you see the chipmunk disappear under the car from the splitter view. And then if you switched to the rear camera view, what you got to see was this ball of fur and tail shot like 4 feet in the air from the because we have the diffuser and everything under the car, all the aerodynamics, and you could literally see you couldn't actually see the rooster tail of air that the car was leaving behind it, except for this chipmunk having the ride of his life, man. I mean, this guy's in like deep orbit for a chipmunk, and he's like probably never crossed the road again. It's fucking hilarious. And you just have to think about what the hell was going on through that chipmunk's head when he went for that flight, man. Because, and I hope he lived, because there were like 20 other cars coming at the same speed. But yeah, it's a hilarious video, man. I just die laughing every time I think about it. It's just this thing got sucked up and just thrown in the air from the downforce of the car, from the arrow on the car. It's fucking hilarious. Anyway, I thought that was really funny. Apparently,
it did survive then.
As far as I know, hey, look, we have no knowledge of the death of the chipmunk.
So say you're gonna lose some of the weak, people. Like, you killed it. But if
I don't know,
everybody's happy.
It was all in one piece. We thought we had beheaded the thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
because it's, we're like on the splitter cam, you can see this chipmunk like frozen in place. And we know how tall the splitter is off the ground, because we set that every time our car goes out on track. And I mean, I was kind of wondering, did we pick a skull out of the radiator on that?
Mm-hmm.
Did we do that? I don't remember picking pieces of small animal out of the car, but could have. And but no, it looks like it was all in one piece as it exited the car. And it just, I mean, you don't think about the airflow under the car all the time, but man, it threw that little chipmunk or whatever that was. Like, I'm not even lying. It's like 4.5, 5 feet in the air. You could just, it's hilarious. And you just, I've never really thought about it. I don't know why I had not thought about it in years until today. That chipmunk was in front of me, and it was like, boy, he better move. Of course, there's no downforce to my truck, but yeah, it's hilarious.
So he narrowly missed being
Decapitated
on the Barbie and the radiator.
Yeah, and I mean, it was pretty interesting. I mean, we've had a lot of really cool things kind of happen, like in the in-car video is the best, and we usually don't. You'll just be randomly watching some in-car video, and all of a sudden something like fucking crazy will happen. And we were and I think this footage still exists. So the I think it was at Miller Motorsports Park in like probably 2013, I think. And it could be 2012, but probably 2013. This guy that used to work with me was working with a GTS Evo team. And and he was a painter. He wasn't he shouldn't have been on in a race car at all, or on a race car team doing mechanical shit at all. And at some point, I think they were like working on some fluid stuff in the back of the car, whether it was fuel or hydraulic or whatever it was. And they'd left this like full sized adjustable wrench somewhere in the car.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. And or maybe it was an adjustable wrench. It was a full size wrench. And you know, these guys are rolling again. Miller Motorsports Park, not a super high speed track, but you're still doing 130, 140 miles an hour on the straightaways, and you know, you're slowing down to maybe like 80 miles an hour in the corners or whatever. So the Ferrari, and I can't remember the driver's name, but this Ferrari is like behind the Evo, and all of a sudden you see something fly out of the Evo, hit the pavement, bounce, and literally like it's coming at the driver, and it literally hit the intersection of the windshield and the roof, destroyed the windshield. I don't know where the wrench went, and scared the living crap out of the guy driving the Ferrari, and did like thousands of dollars in damage. That just an amazing amount of damage. And so that was exciting. That was really cool. Wow,
Well, yeah, that's
crap.
a flying weapon at that point.
I know, right? And it was just so hilarious to me because we were looking for that wrench.
Yeah.
Like, where the hell's that thing at? And then we were watching the footage because I did not know that it happened, by the way. I was not aware that I wasn't aware that first of all, that we had loaned anybody anything, because it was in fact our wrench.
Oh.
But I was unaware that we had loaned anybody anything, and I was really unaware that there was like really I just was, I mean, it was just so.
Did you get penalized for that?
No, I didn't. No,
Oh.
no. So we had loaned the wrench to another team.
Hmm.
And the other team had to put it in their car, or were working on the car, and they just left it there. And then the car went out on track, and somehow in all of the moving around, it got thrown out
Yeah.
under the bottom of the car. So it you know, it's just one of those things that happened. And
Did they get
yeah.
fined?
I'm not sure. I didn't, you know, I just kind of was like, yeah, okay. Nobody ever actually even asked me about the wrench. I just happened to know it was ours because I asked why we were missing one. And,
I think I know where that one is now. You have to go get it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was like, I was like, well, sorry. So I went to my guy and I'm like, hey man, are we missing a wrench? Because it seems like we're missing a wrench. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. Because, I mean, it was on TV at one point.
Yeah.
So it was pretty funny. But all kinds of stuff happened, man. All kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I'm
It's
glad
crazy.
nobody got hurt. That's that could have been worse.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it could have been really bad. But it was not. You know, it was actually really pretty normal for, you know, I mean, as far as, you know, if you watch the intro video, we get hit by, you know, my car got hit by a tire, or hit by a car and a tire. So, you know, it's not unusual for us to take a little bit of damage, you know.
Yeah, but I feel like the car and the tire thing.
You feel like a wrench is a lot.
Well, you know, the car and the tire thing, I mean, that probably wasn't. It wasn't like it was like somebody, well, maybe somebody didn't attach a tire well, but usually those things can happen from just damage that you don't know about. Versus a wrench, that's negligence.
Yeah, well, I mean, dude, you have no idea how bad people can fuck up in life. Like I say this all the time, and like, just for example, man. So when we would do the standing start, right? Like the drivers can't see most of the time, right? Because they have a helmet on, they're focused on the car in front of them. They can't really see the light without moving their head, to where they can't see where where they're going to be going, and so what the drivers generically count on us to the crew to tell them when to go.
Yeah.
So they're sitting there in the car, right? So on a standing start, they're sitting there in the car. It's in gear. They've got clutch in. They've got however many revs that they've decided the car launches at. So they'll be sitting there, and we'll be like, red lights are on, and you'll hear them just go right up to the launch RPM, and then we'll be like, the next thing they'll hear from us is green, green, green. And when I say that first green, they are fucking gone. I mean, gone. And so the accidents on the standing starts got so bad, we had to install dash mounted yellow warning lights that the officials could trigger via radio control, like a pager.
Yeah, I think I've seen videos of those. Yeah.
So that if there was because you can't see a car stopped in front of you. So we were at I think Mid Ohio, and we were running a BMW of some kind. I forget. I think it was a 320 something. I don't know. Stupid. It was just a BMW, and so green light falls, go on the radio. My driver hammers out. The next thing I hear on the radio is him going, fuck, which they're not supposed to say because the radio transmissions are monitored by the press and everybody else. And but what it was I think another BMW or an Evo, I think it was an Evo, had actually launched, and it's all-wheel drive car, so it launches harder than basically anything else in the field. And the BMW in front of it had stalled, and it literally ran up the backside and flipped, and it blocked off half the track. So all cars were actually hitting them from behind because they couldn't see, and cars would just dart out of the way, and then you couldn't see. So it's one of those things. So you got to have really good spotters and people yelling at the driver, hey, go left, go left, go left. And the driver has to you got to have a lot of trust, man. Like a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I tell you
around that corner pretty fast, yeah.
If I tell you to go left, you better go left, right now. And we got really good at that stuff. We never really had that much problems. But it's my hobbies are, and the things I did for work, which could also be considered a hobby, were always pretty fun. But there's some of that stuff that was just hilarious, man. Like you just couldn't make it up. Like you just couldn't. Yeah, it was cool stuff. Cam the King, things with engines are funny. Nephew's 10th birthday is Thursday. Traded 250 rounds of Spirit Gold self-defense. Yeah, it's good. 9mm. Yeah, okay.
Where are you seeing Cam's message? Because I don't see it in the chat.
In the chat?
I see it in the private chat, or not in the private chat, but in the stream chat.
Yeah, the live chat. Mm-hmm.
But not on the. I'm sorry, I'm not using the correct wording. I see it in our chat on the Streamlabs, but I don't see it on the actual YouTube live chat.
Yeah, it's up on YouTube. Yeah, I've got YouTube up as well.
Why don't I see his? That's weird.
It usually goes to YouTube first and then to StreamYard because there's a lag.
0 chats from Cam in there.
Do you have it at, I don't know.
That's weird. I'm going to have to look into that.
Maybe you blocked him. Nope.
That's weird. I'm going to
get sponsored by Craftsman and get wrap with a big wrench on it for that pit crew. That's hilarious.
Yeah, stuff
Yeah,
I did live chat.
Yeah. What's up, Juice? How you doing, man? We're just a chill stream tonight. Got a lot of stuff going on out there in the world. Need some more people more entertaining than me to come up. Actually, that's not possible. I'm pretty entertaining, but still need some people to come up, hang out, shoot the shit. Nobody blocks Cam the King.
I don't even know how to. I don't think I blocked anybody. I don't even know how to check that.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a setting somewhere, but I'll find it.
so you can see him in the stream in the Talk Studio chat, but you can't see him in the YouTube chat.
Uh-huh. Maybe I accidentally blocked him.
Well, I don't know. I don't know that you can, but maybe. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, it is weird. That is pretty damn weird.
So what do you think will happen with the outcome?
Oh, I talked about it earlier. I don't know. You probably weren't in here. I think I swear, man. I think they're going to. They've already admitted that they are trying really hard to figure out a way to have Trump in jail so he cannot be confirmed.
But if they could have done it, don't you think they'd have done it already?
I think they're holding it. I think they're holding their cards until they see if he's elected or not. Yeah. You keep a list. That's good. Come on up, Joe Mobley.
Yeah, Joe.
That is the nuclear option.
I think
they're holding that card, man. It's their whole card.
Yeah, I mean they can't do Rush Collusion 2.0. I wouldn't think so.
I mean, I think they're going to try and do the same thing they accused him of, except they'll actually do it.
Yeah. I think at this point, a lot of people are turned off by the accusations, and they're just like, whatever.
He was in bed, Shelby. He was in bed. He's not in bed now.
I think he was too.
Now he's headed to the gym or his garage, whatever.
His man cave.
Man cave. Yeah.
Just do a couple pumps of that iron, Joe, and you'll be good to go.
I honestly wanted to go to bed early tonight, but I knew I had to do a stream tonight, and I'm like, I will suck it up and I will drive on. What I do. I think he lost.
Trying to be consistent.
Yeah, well, I hate to cancel a show because at some point I'm going to have to, and then I want people to remember that I just don't cancel shows.
Yeah, and I think that's part of trying to get the stream to work is being consistent.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot to it, man. I think that I think that there's people who think that they can just start streaming and it just like happens, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that. It's
a lot of work.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I'm retired, so it's not actual work. So.
Yeah, but it's money too, and time.
It costs money, man.
Yeah.
It actually costs money. Like I kind of joke about my wife getting unhappy with the amount of money that I'm spending on it, but it's not that she's getting unhappy about it. She's just like, why are you doing this? Like so the thing is, I don't know. I don't know. You're probably not like this, right? But for most people, especially me, things have to kind of make sense, right? So if I'm, for example, let's just say that I spent like $2 or $3 grand setting everything up, like the cameras, the mics, the lights, the computer, all the stuff, whatever I spent, whatever it was I spent, that's what I spent. And the show only makes, a little bit here and there, not a lot. And I'm using a lot of my time that I could be spending, say, fixing my airplane or, I don't know. I could be, I don't know what else could I be doing right now? Like working on some of the project cars that I need to sell. There's a bunch of different things I could be doing, but I'm not doing them because I choose to come play with on YouTube, right? And my wife, and she's absolutely correct about this, is like, why do it if it's not going to make you money? Why continue to do this if if you say that it's something that you're taking seriously and you're doing it as a not a hobby, but kind of as a kind of a retirement business, then you need to treat it like a business.
Would you say that some of the reasoning behind why you do it is out of public duty?
Yeah, I think so. I think I do. I think I do it just because there's a lot of people out there that can't identify with other people, right? There's a lot of people that like. I hope that people can identify with me. Even though I'm decently well off now, the but I wasn't always that way, and I had to work really, really hard to get here. So when I hope that when people hear what I have to say, that they're not looking at it as that rich bastard. Who the fuck cares what he says? What I want them to think about is, yeah, that dude made it. I can make it too, and you can, you can't take anything away from that, and it's the great Joe Mobley.
Hey, made it.
You guys are bastards.
I am.
You didn't need to
More
go to bed this
so.
early.
I mean, it's not even about going to bed. It's just about being in the bed, comfortable, not a care in the world.
Not a care in the world. And then we're talking about the election and
exactly.
All the liberals going batshit crazy right now. Like, I think
I got angry man on one tab tearing up some gay feminists, and then you guys on the other tab talking about the fate of the free world. I'm like, gosh, can a guy just go to bed?
It's Saturday night, man.
24/7. So, yeah, no, I mean, I think that I really think that the power of YouTube, honestly, is that it allows the everyman to reach all men.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Well, just social media in general, yeah.
Yeah. And so, but again, it's just like, all right, for example, today, one of the reasons I had to go to Winchester today is I had to meet with the tenant that was in my lake house for the last 6 months about the return of her deposit. I said, well, here's the thing. You guys told me you were going to be out at the end of the month, and then it was the 22nd of the month, and then it was the 15th of the month, and it just changed so many times, and we obviously weren't able to coordinate, the cleaning and the turnaround and everything like that, and that cost me money. So instead of returning you your entire deposit, I think it's only right that we return you half of your deposit because you've cost me money. My time is money, and that's just the way it is. And they said, yeah, okay, we agree with that. Because you can't mess with my business and expect me to just be okay, right? I think anybody should be that way. And I think if you were, and the thing is, I think if you approach it,
check on my I think 3-year-old. Feel like you're saying dad. Be right back.
Yeah, man. I get that too. My son will scream, but right now my older son and his parents-in-law are in there, so they're on that. They got it.
I
But
don't have any kids to scream, but I did wake up to my neighbor screaming because her boyfriend was beating the shit out of her.
wow, that's
I,
not good.
I had to call the cops. He got arrested.
He got
That's
arrested.
some crazy shit.
That is some crazy shit, no doubt. But yeah, man, I think it's an interesting thing. You know, it's yeah, I don't know. But I mean, if you call the you know, I mean, it's just money, and so if I'm spending 20 or 30 hours a week doing this, at some point I have to be like, okay, I got to get paid something, right? So there has to be something other than
See,
the good feeling in
gonna,
the cockles of my heart. What's that?
gonna have to disagree with you on this. I think your wife's
Yeah.
wrong on this one, because there are some things, particularly public duty, that you don't get paid for. And I think there's a net positive on society, and you have to sacrifice money to do those things. For example, volunteering in politics is one. I could say, well, I don't get paid to be a precinct delegate, so I'm just not going to do it. Or, just
Yeah, I think volunteering is very important.
Yeah, and I think you just answered it when I asked you if you got a sense of public duty out of this, and you said yes. I think therein lies your answer. That no,
Yeah,
I'm not
that's why I
saying
don't
you
need to
shouldn't
get
want
paid a
to be
lot,
paid.
right?
Yeah. I'm not saying you shouldn't want that to be monetizable.
Yeah. I think it's different in my case, which allows me to be a little bit. All right, let's just take a case study, right? So if you take like the Thorpes, right, who are living by whatever they can grift off of their member viewership,
Mm-hmm.
I actually understand everything they do. Like they have to do that. They don't really have a choice. They don't actually have a choice in saying that they're going to be less grifty, right?
Well, they could get a normal job like the rest of us, but yeah.
Sure, they could, and I think ultimately that's what they should do, right? Glad you wore pants. We are too.
Or start a super weird OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Only familial,
Oh, no.
maybe. Only familial.
Only running around in the house. Only running around the
They
house.
definitely increase their publicity with that for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, man. What do you think, Joe?
About the Thorpes, about the election?
No. So what we were
about
talking
making
about
money as a content creator.
Just boiling it down is basically I said that I don't put as much effort into the grift as I probably should. But it is getting to the point where my wife's like, you spend a lot of time doing this. You should get paid for it. I'm like, well, I get paid. I get paid a little bit. And
I will say, whether I agree or not, your wife will lose the is-ought claim if I decided just to dig in and argue against. Because you prescriptively as an is-ought claim, there's no there. There's no but I will say I understand the sentiment. I also tend to agree, especially as people who I don't consider myself a high net worth individual, but that's just my Americanism.
Sure.
Kind of seeping in. But we're certainly people that value our time. Benjamin Disraeli said nothing can resist the human will. That second part was that will stake its existence on this purpose, meaning that we're actually wagering our lives on the things that we're doing because that's what it costs. We don't get these moments back. So this is what we're spending it on. For some people, the money destroys it. I know a lot of music. I feel like for every musician who feels good about making money, there are 10 who feel that it would ruin it for them. It would ruin their love of music. I don't know. I think you do. I think you walk the line pretty well. When I'm watching your stream, just watching, I don't feel like Mike Lindell is on and you're constantly pushing some pillows or some robes or some slippers.
Right.
But but you'll tastefully say, or Mod will say, "Hey guys, don't want your free? Hit that like button."
Right.
And
Right.
if you
Yeah.
feel so obliged, drop a dono chat. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta pay for server space. You gotta pay for the streaming tools. My show costs just under $200 a month to operate, and I have an email list and all this other stuff. And you're setting up manufacturing.
Mhm.
Yeah, it costs. There's an operating
That's
cost
actually
to
the
what's
thing that
going on.
triggered all of this has been the merch stuff going on, right?
Mm.
Like, and a large part of that is because I'm having to just because I'm using a local guy to do the work, and where I can just go down and get the things that people want, or I can make changes, and I'm more hands on. That luxury costs money, right? Like it does. I could honestly have my stores set up probably tomorrow if I just wanted to do like um, Shopify or whatever store. It'd be easy. Um, but and it would cost me almost no money. But the way it is now, I think I'm going to end up spending about $3,000, $4,000 to set up the merch stuff, the initial merch order, because I have to order X number of each size shirt in every color and every design, and then X number of hoodies, same thing, every
Now, are
size.
you gonna pay someone to fulfill those, or are you gonna do it yourself? Because that's
Well,
like the next.
I have a shelf here where I'm going to, you send in the order and I pick it up off the shelf and I put it in the box and run it over to USPS, and I'm very much using Clover Tax model because that's how Clover Tax kind of does his stuff, and it's not the um, it's not the best, I guess, but it's not. You're not waiting 3 weeks for it to be made somewhere and then air shipped over, and it doesn't. It's gonna, um, it'll come from me, not from a mailing center somewhere. So, um, and that actually, I mean, you don't know about. I'm sure but I have to set up a separate phone line for incoming customer calls, so that if there's a problem, I can answer it. Right. So it's way more than people think so. I like Silvar Ogre here. Welcome to the show, by the way. I didn't see you slip in. I don't value my own time. Why would I value yours? Internet troll 4269. That's fucking hilarious.
That's pretty good. A
That's
plus.
A plus.
Well, if you were to do merch, Grid,
Yeah.
might I suggest a personal touch? Maybe for those of us who respect staying off your lawn, you could include a few blades of grass in
A
each
few
package.
blades of grass. I'll tell my son to save at least a bag of grass clippings every time he cuts the grass. It's very funny because somebody the other day came by, a lawn service actually came by the other day. I was outside in the driveway working on the Mini, and they come, of course, this is a time of year where they try and recruit customers for next year. So they come around, they're trying to sell you the seating and the winterizing, aerating, all that stuff. And they come around, and this guy's got his little sheet of paper there, and he's walking the whole block. He's very dedicated. And he says, "Sir, your lawn looks great, but are you happy with your lawn service?" And I just looked at him and said, "I hope so. He's my son." And it was the but it's I do it old school, man. I have a kid. He has a lawnmower. Gets done. He learned how to use the edger the last time he mowed the grass, and he loves that edger now. Like, who doesn't love a spinning wheel of death? Right.
Right.
Especially like 2 feet from your foot. That's like the best thing ever. You like my wrench wrap joke, so we're all good. That's true.
Do you think less kids and more services are mowing lawns now than they used to?
Oh, dude, it's nothing but services on my entire block.
Mm.
I don't see any kids but my kid mow the lawn. My neighbor mows his own lawn. My neighbor on the other side mows his lawn. He has the same size yard as me, and he uses a riding lawnmower. Of course, I use a 14-year-old, so it's kind of the same thing.
I hated mowing the lawn when I was a kid.
Really?
Too many bees stinging me and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks. But you only had to do it for like 2 months, right? Because you live in Michigan.
No, it's like 6 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow.
Hey, Grid, do you know what you're streaming next week? Or are you just rocking steady with your? And the reason I'm asking, I'm trying to figure out. Man, I'm trying to figure out. Do I want to do a penultimate day where I do a big long stream on Monday, last day before election day?
I'm not doing anything Monday.
Yeah,
I'll do my daytime show Monday, and then that's it.
I'm thinking about doing a Tuesday night election coverage and then the regular Thursday night. And who knows? Maybe results will be out by Thursday night, or maybe they'll be out by Christmas or New Year's or Valentine's Day. Who the heck knows?
So I have
secure elections.
You're going to love this. I have the ANCAP guy, the anarcho-capitalist guy.
Mhm.
I have him on Wednesday night show. And so that's going to be good. And then Thursday, I was going to do his show. I was going to have him on as a special, but he said no. Mosman is an anarcho-Christian. This is an anarcho-capitalist. I know there's so many. Everybody's got anarchy in their logo now. I don't know. I'm an anarcho lawn care specialist, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, today's Day of the Dead. I did not know that.
I don't know.
I lose respect for anybody that uses the word or claims the word anarcho. Only a fool would think we could survive without a government of any kind.
But they have the nap, brother.
Right. The nap, yeah. Which has never worked on its own.
Anarchy is not a system. It's a transitory state.
Right? It's literally like they took the way of the leaf from Jordan or Raymond, Or was that Feist? Raymond Feist? No, it's Robert Jordan, Wheel of Time. They took the way of the leaf and they're like, okay, we're going to make this our philosophy of actual life. It's non-aggression principle. If you don't mess with me, I won't mess with you.
Yeah.
Whatever. Get out of here with that. That works if you don't have guns.
Or any other weapon.
Or anyone else. I am a bunch of statists. Oh man, did you hear the guy spurg out over on, well, you didn't. I mean, you didn't hear him. You would have seen him. Guy spurged clean out in Rob's chat. Rob Norris chat.
I'm gonna have to watch that. Hopefully he clips it.
It was good. I mean, it was really good. The this guy's like talking about how you can't be a libertarian and vote for these guys. You're voting yourself into slavery. You're voting for whatever. It's very funny.
Yeah, probably pretty young, wasn't he?
Worked for 400 years. Stepfire is trying to get me triggered. Stepfire, you need to come up here and defend yourself, sir.
Yeah, he's pretty feisty tonight.
Yes. Well, he shaved his beard apparently. You know that
I'm
changed.
I'm just thinking about growing a beard. I've not shaved for about 5 days. Wife hasn't kicked me in the sack yet, so thinking about it, gentlemen.
Yeah.
It is No Shave November if you want it to be.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Trying not to eat into
pull in Andrew and eat some chips in the mic. Or no, it was Brian. That was
Brian
aliens,
eats
yeah.
popcorn. I actually really I went out and bought the movie theater popcorn boxes just so when people started spazzing out in my streams, I could just sit there and eat popcorn.
So good.
Yeah.
I got my big girl panties on. So,
Oh
and
boy.
I say that for the audience. I know that you don't hold back anyway.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on knowing that I'm someone that has affiliates?
Mm-hmm.
One of them just sent me some crap. That's why it's in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Some crap. Some very
Some cool
wonderful
stuff.
stickers. Thank you, Attorney Shield, for the swag.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, to my knowledge, you don't run any affiliates. I know.
No.
We've talked a little bit about the business side of the content creation. Anyway,
Sure.
what are your thoughts on all things affiliates and partnerships and that kind of stuff?
All things affiliates apart. So as long as they're more or less hands off and it's just you just hit these metrics and we give you stuff, I'm okay with it. It's when demands start being made that I start having issues with it, because
Like creative demands,
or even just like, hey, we gave you this, so we would really like you to do a 30 minutes or a 30-second spot on just us and say something along these lines. And I'd be like, well, I already talked about you for 2 minutes of show, so not really sure why this is a issue now. I just don't, I don't know. I had a really weird thing back when we had and this has always been my philosophy. So, we didn't put anybody's sticker on our car unless we were getting paid to do so. Like, people would give us stuff for free all the time, and they would expect to put their logo on the car or on the driver's suit or on the hats or whatever. And I'm like, no. I mean, you giving me something is great, but until you cut me a check, you have to give me a lot of stuff before I start thinking about putting it on there, right? And that was just the way it was, because product to me was never really a sponsorship. And is that your hot water bottle there, Bessie?
No, this is you don't know about these? This is a balance disc. It's a balance disc. You can sit on it.
Yeah.
It engages your core, but you can also use it as a lumbar support.
I got you. Okay.
I thought that was for hemorrhoids. You sure it's not for hemorrhoids?
No, that's the donut. I got one of those too for when my hemorrhoids flares up.
You have all the medical accessories.
I am a certified birth coach, man. You know, I got all that stuff to take care of the hoo-ha.
I deal in medical and medical accessories.
So stupid. Oh man.
Yeah. So I I mean, I just had kind of a rule about that kind of thing, and it was always interesting that people would try and give me stuff and or would offer, hey, we'll give you X number of whatever. Now most of the partnerships that I did were actual. First of all, they were actual partnerships, and if I was going to do an affiliate or a partnership or anything like that, it had to be a very, very considered period of time, right? Like, it had to be very considered and it'd be very clear. And for example, I never really cared about people giving me stuff because we just buy it anyway. But if we were like, most of what I did were like B2B deals and things like that. So it's hard for me to really give someone advice on it, but I don't know, man. It just depends on what the deal is. It's a deal by deal, and there's always something that changes the dynamic. For me, like, we did a deal with an ambulance company that they needed. This was a great deal for me too, by the way. This is how shit gets done. So there's an ambulance company, largest ambulance company probably in the world right now. And their yearly spend on tires was 2.1 million. Their annual spend on battery was just under $1 million to keep these things running. And one of the line items for their budget for the year was to reduce those costs if they could. So they came to us and said, "Hey, if you can say," well, we went to them and said, "What can we do for you?" And they said, "Well, as it happens, we have these things that are on our budget list, and if you can get us a 5-year contract, whatever you save us, you get for the first 2 years." Okay. So if I saved them 3% of $2.1 million for per year, I would get that 3%. They would just cut me a check for it. I said, "Well, that's pretty good. That sounds like a deal." So we went and worked with some of our other people that we knew, and we formed a partnership to make that happen. And the same thing with the batteries. And that was an easy way to get the deal, right? Like, and most sponsor. So racing isn't like like people think it is, right? Like it's very, very rare. Usually you have to own the company and you're just promoting yourself. It's very rare for someone like True Car to actually sponsor a car. Usually there's some other things there in the background. And so I guess it's a roundabout way of saying I don't know. I don't know how I would deal with it. I don't do affiliates yet. I'm not really good at shilling, so I forget it all the time. My entire mod staff is about ready to hang me because I don't do dono goals and other things that I say I'm going to do, but I don't. But I always it's like the lowest priority of the day to get it done.
My thing with dono goals, and I thought about it. I've run smaller, less successful businesses than yourself. One of which was a high dollar to some, a consulting service that was essentially $6,000 a month. And I only took on 6 clients at a time. Anyway, when I'm thinking about making that irresistible offer, when I'm thinking about the dono goals, I don't know what to make the thing. Like what are we doing? An all day stream, or I don't know what would be enticing to my audience. I never have, even when I had a big audience, when people are in watching the live, when I was getting several thousand downloads like the day that the podcast would drop. I have no idea what to make the thing for a dono goal.
And I'm not a streamer, but I'm not a streamer, but it seems like if I was, my biggest fear would be setting a goal that's too high, and then you can't get there, and you're like begging people at some point, please, like, because you
just set it for a period of time, and the next time go lower.
Well, I think that setting it too high is bad, but not setting it high enough is worse. And I think that the thing is that like if I were to set like which I probably really should. Let's just say I set a goal for $250 in a 3-hour stream, right? And then we only got half of it, 125. The next stream would still do the same 250 because that is that that's the goal, right? And so that's that would be the way I would do it. And I actually, just my personality makes me, as I'm sure Joe's personality has. Break down how many hours a week I'm streaming, how many shows I'm doing, and how much each show should produce to make it worthwhile. I'm sure you've already done those numbers, so they're different for everybody.
Yeah. Oh, and one of the things that carries things for me is I have membership. I used to have raw membership on my website, which I stopped doing that service back when I was at the Big Green Machine. Not wearing their shirt today, and I haven't gotten any nasty text or emails, so that's good. But yeah, I still have a handful of locals members. I think I'm under 25 though. My last the last thing that I did for some type of goal was a membership goal, and it was like 25 or 30. It was pretty modest. It wasn't like 600 members.
Yeah, my next thing is to do a membership drive. And I'd like to have between 500 and 1,000 members. And for the base membership goal, I like not, the higher price goal, but just the basic whatever. And I'm going to, I think, and I already am I'm working to do this, is to, every month at the end of the month, I'm going to do a, randomized giveaway of members that have been members for 6 months. And I'll give away something, I don't know, some kind of prize pack. I need to figure out what I need to start figuring it out pretty quick, because we're coming up on where we should be at about the 6 month mark. I know Raging Patriot's been a member for 4 months. So in 2 months, we're going to have to, if he's the only guy that's been a member for 6 months, then I'll just send him something cool.
My membership got screwed up. I signed up to be a member. When I hit member, it said like I became a member, which I guess was a gifted membership, but I was actively trying to become a member. Anyway, I didn't take my payment information, so then it like lapsed for 4 days, and I was like, "What the F is this?" Anyway, back in the game, in the game, boys.
Michelle, I'm really sorry to hear about your mom's trouble there. I do apologize. I hope that we can be a little lighter hearted tonight, and I hope you help you kind of forget that for a little bit, or maybe not forget it, but ease it, at least, ease it from your mind. Stepfire has become a member. That's cool. But yeah, I think that's the thing. I think, I don't know, the memberships. I set my membership really cheap. So,
Chris Lestrange, hide now in the chat. If I'm up here, why the heck aren't you up here?
Yeah, I don't know. I was really surprised he didn't come up. It is the chill stream, so.
I just want them to elect like a straight up porn star for the presidency. Let's just go buck wild and just elect a porn star to the presidency. Just see how it goes.
I got to be honest, man. I have no respect for Kamala at all. Like none. Like zero.
Yeah, me either.
Like I could at least. I disliked Biden, but at least, he had at least done something. I didn't agree with it, but he had at least done something during his entire life spent in politics.
I mean, didn't they all but admit that she was the affirmative action hire anyway?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah.
I'm pretty
Silvar,
sure
you're okay, buddy.
You guys want to see a piece of unreleased content?
Sure, man.
Out on Monday.
Throw out.
Is it your only?
Let me make sure the sound is on. Let me know if you can hear this.
Yep.
Handicap sign. I wonder what this person's handicap is. Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah,
That's
that's
funny.
gonna
That's pretty funny. I wonder what this handicap is.
yeah. I'm
You always
ruthless.
walk around with a handicap sign, and you just keep that in your trunk or something.
No, that was at the pumpkin patch. I'm ruthless. I'm the same person online as I am in real life with my saucy, super conservative shirts and hats. And I just I take no prisoners out there. When someone says something to me, I'm like, it's funny because I'm nice to people online, but in real life, minus the cursing, I treat people like Andrew Wilson. I'm just like, if you're going to be out here in real life and you're going to be this stupid, I'm going to make you pay for it in front of all your little friends, in front of your little girlfriend, wife.
If anything, you guys get the least offensive version of me possible because there are rules here.
Yeah, you can't wear your hood.
I don't have one. But there was a legit Triple K march here in my town on my square when I was in grade school. I remember that.
Yeah, half of my grade school was in a really shady part of Long Island, so there are no such marches.
I'm also not Catholic, so I can't wear a Pope hat.
I mean, the FBI did exist back then too. I was just saying,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? And I don't, Joe, I don't know how much of Tim Hale's thing that you caught when he was on the show, but what do you think about him basically saying that all of the bad actors from Jan 6 were feds?
I think he was absolutely right. I watched that whole thing from the moment he came on.
Did you really?
That was an awesome. That was just an awesome segment, and so random too. He just pops in the chat.
I know. And, I was all set to just be like cool, and we're just gonna have this really laid back show. And I'm like, holy crap, it's Tim Hale. This is good.
I tried to connect him with a bunch of journalists that I know. No, I mean, I obviously, as someone who's waiting for the knock at the door, I follow J6 pretty closely. I was unaware of some of his insight about, I know about the informants. I'm friends with the retired former head who started the unit, the FBI's special surveillance unit, which is now called SIG. Strategic Integrated Intelligence or some other nonsense. Anyway, he lives out here, by my house. We go have coffee and talk junk about our tyrannical government, which he knows he played a part in starting the FBI Special Surveillance Unit. But anyway, that was back when they were going after child predators and terrorists and drug traffickers, not when they were going after grandmas and soccer moms and people protesting. But I was not aware of what Tim said, that people's employers, their brothers, their neighbors diming them out. That's a whole nother thing.
What about the guy who broke through the door was a Fed and he just let everybody else through? What about, that was crazy, man. I was like, no, come on. No.
I hate it because for normal law enforcement, a furtherance of the act cannot be committed by the person who has statutory power of arrest. That's where the delineation is. If they don't have statutory power of arrest, they can't do it. 1811 series, which is federal agents, that little legal problem does not apply to them. So supposedly they can't do entrapment, but they can do furtherances of the act, which is, it's wild. It's wild to I think it should be illegal. All the lawyers and SCOTUS have decided that it's clean play. I don't see how.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I got a question for Joe, if you don't mind. Who was Ray? Who was Ray Epps?
Who was Ray Epps?
Was he legit? Do you think he was a Fed, or do you think he was just a guy?
I think worse than Fed or just a guy. I think Ray Epps is a plant from the Nameless Faceless Leaders, kind of the equivalent to a Soros prosecutor. And I say that because of his international presence. Wasn't he filmed? Wasn't he captured on video at protests in France, California, Georgia, Pennsylvania? I'm like, this dude's pimping all over the world, and he's just some guy. I don't think he could be a Fed, but I think he's an asset of the nameless, faceless oligarchs, like a Soros, like a Clinton. Personal opinion. Do I have evidence for that? No, except for what I just said.
I think either he was a Fed or an informant, and I think that when they asked at the congressional meeting, I can't remember what it was, and they didn't answer it, that was clear proof.
Do you guys know what a gray man is?
Yes.
But like a real gray man, not the new popular pop culture version, not someone who blends into environments, but like the OG gray man. Do you know about them?
The ones that are largely undocumented, have no real tie to any specific organization, get paid in various ways, including just taking the funds of the people that they interact with. By interacting,
exactly. All the way up to having an actual gray passport, which is a special carve out of passport that's not diplomat, it's not CIA, it's for gray work. I think Ray Epps is a gray man. Yeah, because one, for him, there should be so much known about him, more so than the protections of being a federal agent. Because I could tell, we can find out a lot about federal agents. We can find out next to nothing about this man. I think he's a gray man. Personal
what about
opinion.
Informants, though? Would you be able to find out a lot about them?
Through open source intelligence. If you hired an open source intelligence analyst freelance, you could find out everything you wanted to know about an informant.
Because we know that the feds use informants to infiltrate and also manipulate a lot of these groups. I mean, you saw in the Whitmer quote kidnapping situation. So, I mean, how would he be any different necessarily?
But he's highly scrutinized. Things would have come out already.
Oh,
there'd be no way.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like if we, if each of us threw a couple $100 at, a freelance OSINT analyst, which people probably have essentially, OSINT Defender on Twitter can find out nothing about this person, and OSINT Defender is an excellent. There's no one that person can't get to. Laura Loomer has been able to find out next to nothing about Epps. Tracy Beans, Tucker, he goes beyond. He just goes a step beyond Fed or informant to me. Totally anecdotal, total conjecture. In my experience, the only time I've seen stuff like that where there's almost like a retroactive scrubbing of internet for this individual, they've been a gray man, or they've been part of some other. Oh, there's a duck in this picture. I just noticed that. Sorry, squirrel. Look at that. Yeah. I just shrouded in too much mystery for me. And like, what about his court documents? Have you seen his court documents?
No.
And you never will. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be, I think I saw something in the chat, it doesn't have to be all of them that were feds. Nobody's claiming that. But it's just like the Michigan Whitmer, quote, kidnapping. All it takes is a certain amount to influence others or to manipulate the plans of others. And then it becomes the plan of the feds, not the people.
Did you watch the Tim Hale episode that I did?
No. Wait, when was this?
It's a few weeks ago, a couple weeks ago.
You interviewed Tim Hale?
Yeah.
I have to go back and look. Didn't even notice it.
It's good. It's a real good
It's
one.
really good. Yeah,
Huh.
and it's just really other than Viking coming in hard a couple of times, but other than that, it was really good. The interesting thing is like I didn't know this, but he said if you actually watch the video that the feds have, they literally show a Fed dropping a drop gun that they claim that was one of the guns that they claimed was there by the Jan 6 people.
That's crazy.
And you can literally
So-
watch the guy drop it.
For
And,
step, sorry, God.
yeah.
I was going to say for Stepfire 3, too many to be all feds. I agree they weren't all feds, but think about clandestine operations to topple governments and disrupt trade routes and all that stuff. They don't send 10 or 20 or 30. They just send 1 or 2 people.
Oh no, there were
to do
so
that.
many feds there. I mean, so many are coming out now. But the thing is that what you don't understand is how deep they've penetrated these groups, like the Proud Boys and some of these other groups. And it was.
Can you tell us more about this deep penetration? Just like slow it down a little bit.
But you know, I'm sure that other people can. The interesting thing was when Hale was talking about the guy who broke the door down for the Proud Boys to go through. He was a Fed. And he literally led them through the hallway. I think he was the one that actually assaulted the officer that was there. And basically the Fed was the one that committed or caused to be committed all of the crimes. The Proud Boys took the blame. Think about that. That's evil, man. That is evil. And they know this because the video that wasn't going to be released, like the reason that they drug their feet releasing that video is because all of this was illustrated. And all of the tapes and everything. Yeah, old 60s joke. How's a riot like a washing machine? Everyone has a government approved agitator in it. That's true. I just think it's crazy, man. It's just crazy how the whole thing went down. And listening to Tim talk about it is like, because he's gone through this a lot. Like he's gone over this with a fine-tooth comb. His wife is Joe's wife is mad at him. He's like, I'm not gonna be on here very long. I promise. Everything's okay. Yeah, I'm almost done.
Joe, come back to bed right now.
Yeah. Like, no, I'll take you to dinner tomorrow night.
Yeah.
He's like, the guys are making fun of me.
I gotta get back, honey, or they're gonna roast me.
We won't roast him. Exactly. Seriously, Shelby, go to bed. I know that you're tired. I know you did a full shift today, so get out of here. Go away. Leave me alone. Hey, Joe. Is your wife roasting you a little bit there?
No, she was showing me she's making matching shirts for my 3 boys for $10. I forget what for, but she just finished the second one.
Peanut.
Yeah, awesome. She's a Renaissance woman. It's insane. It's insane. Like, I'm so impressed with the quality of their products that she makes the stuff with like a freaking, well, not with her bare hands. She's got multiple sewing machines, but like she's making her second or third quilt and like all of this crap at the same time. It's wild. Justice.
Cool.
I'm gonna re-trigger that TTS since you guys can't hear the TTS when they come through, so I try and stop you, but I can't always. So just give it 1 second. I'm gonna re-trigger this for a ticky tack.
Ticky Tack donated $10. Super chat. Justice for Peanut. Peanut.
Justice for Peanut. Justice for Peanut. I don't know who Peanut is. Who's Peanut?
Neither do I.
No clue.
Could be
Well,
somebody
thank
in
you for the
prison
$10
still.
super chat, Ticky Tack. Good to have you on the show. If you would like, you're welcome to come up on the stream and BS around with us. This is a chill stream, folks. We are trying to be chill. I think Joe is max chill. Michigan Christian sounds like he's kicked back on his couch with his feet up. I am.
I was max chill before I got in here, laying on my bed.
Yeah,
Grig, you were
that's
so close.
for-
I am on my recliner with my feet up, but you were close.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. I think the Tim Hale story is like one of the scariest things that I've like heard in like modernity. Right? Because he spent a year in jail before he went to court, and a large part of it was in solitary.
That's happening to J6 prisoners too, though. I'm not
He
sure about.
was, yeah, he
Phil,
was.
but- Oh, was
That's
he
what he
one of
was.
them? Okay.
Yeah, he was a J6 guy.
Okay.
Yeah. Matter of fact, his tagline is Tim Hale, criminally funny J6er.
Oh, okay. I think I got him mixed up with somebody else. I think I have seen him interviewed before, but yeah, he's not the only one. Then I know there's several people in there that either have or still are in solitary for quite a long time.
Yeah, he spent 3 years in prison, and I think he's had his sentence commuted or whatever, or at least for the time being.
Well, I mean, they know Trump's gonna probably pardon at least a lot of them because they've either served their time or they didn't deserve it to begin with, depending on what happened.
Yeah, it's true.
And they're literally political prisoners.
Yeah. You've been soldering all day, Ticky Tack. Why are you soldering? I was playing with my airplane today, and I'm doing the sun barrier on it right now because it's a fabric airplane, and I don't know what that stuff is, man. But once it gets on you, it is not coming off. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'm gonna lose some skin here.
You'll probably get a Legion in 10 years also.
10 years, I'll be 63. Probably, maybe. I don't know. So think about all the footage we haven't seen. Well, that's the interesting thing, Cam, because a lot of the footage has been withheld because it's part of an investigation. And the biggest part of that was the Proud Boys. And they got the leader of the Proud Boys in prison because what did he do? He wasn't even there, but they got him for texting basically in support of it, which is nuts.
Cam, I don't think if you were in there, you'd think it's vacation. Come on now.
Yeah, not me. Neat. That's pretty cool. So some 3D. Tiki Tack sent me over a picture. He's got some cool 3D printed stuff and some soldering, some lights and stuff. It's pretty cool.
No, that's what they said.
It looks like he's making his own stream deck.
Raging Patriot sent me some hemorrhoids ads. Very nice.
Did he really? He's helpful like that. He's a very helpful soul. He really is.
Freaking Tux. Witch Hazel. Hey, you know we got some of those.
That's awesome, man.
It's good stuff. It works.
Yeah. Hate soldering, but love it at the same time. Yeah. So, Joe, what's your week like? What are you doing on your show this week?
I got to stream at least twice because I owe people streams. Especially the locals crowd. I owe them a 30-minute or so member only. I think I'm going to stream Tuesday, maybe from like 8:30 to midnight, and probably still do a regular Thursday night show. I think that's the
Okay.
yeah.
I have my Monday show, which will be largely, if you haven't voted yet, you sick fucks, get out and vote.
Yeah, I'm voting on Tuesday. I don't care what Imperius and all of you simps say. I'm voting on election day for the rest of my life, unless I'm in jail.
Simps.
Other than stubbornness, what is your reason for that?
The way that my brain works, I cannot betray my rational faculties. And white collar criminal experts, or in my case, the crime that I'm an actual expert in is human trafficking, interdiction, breaking up human trafficking rings. So knowing how to perpetrate a crime, a fraud, even a bank heist, you know that you need time and space within to operate. You need information, which they call intelligence, but it's just information. What bank, when, who's going to drive, how many seats in the car, that kind of thing. You need the time and space within to operate, and you need the criminal intent. If you have those three elements, that is how you perpetrate organized crime, financial crime, white collar crime. It's how you perpetrate international drugs, arms, people trafficking rings. It's how you perpetrate a fraud if you are planning on defrauding the U.S. government or doing a less than above board election. So we look at our system where we trade it fast, cheap, and simple for slow, complicated, and expensive. And my brain just doesn't allow me to ignore all of those things. Pisses me off the most is Christopher Wray, because Christopher Wray, director of the FBI, is a white collar crime expert, specifically financial crimes. Worked at, he was a partner at the firm. My aunt brought him in as a partner for their Manhattan law firm for that expertise. So I know that he knows better. I don't care what he's shilling for now and government power. I get it. He's the director. But I know that he has an intimate knowledge of how to perpetrate a fraud. He's best in class. He's a world expert at dismantling it. So I know that he knows what I'm telling you all, and just says, "Meh, not my problem. I don't care. Send the bureau after the J6ers and move on with your day."
So it's not a protest then for the change?
No, I wouldn't quite say protest. Protest is more for a political ideological cause. This is like, I don't want to participate in a fraud. If I can say that here on YouTube, me personally, like just as an individual voter, not talking about systemic things or whatever pisses off YouTube these days. Yeah. Also, there's no logical reason for it. Like, have you thought about the fact that with all of the technology, that elections should be faster and perhaps more transparent? It's not. I don't really have a dog in the fight of transparency for elections and that kind of thing. But isn't it odd that France still uses 100-year-old envelopes and paper poke system, and they're done the day of, and we use all this high-speed nonsense? And they're saying they need 10 days or 2 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever. It doesn't pass the sniff test, man. It really doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if we had the volunteers or staffing or whatever to make it work, I prefer the idea of 1 day voting. 1 day, count by the end of the day, like it used to be.
Well, even not having the volunteers, do we not have 12 million government employees who we could still achieve what is it called? Polarity? I think that's the right word. We could still have one from each side be there.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't disagree with you, Joe. I just was curious what your thinking is, and I agree that it only exists to perpetuate fraud. However, I don't think by you waiting until Tuesday that changes anything. And when you said that there's no reason to do it, here's why I would disagree with you on that. The GOP this year has been very adamant on tracking who hasn't voted and putting resources to encouraging them to get out and vote. And by getting your name off that list, it does allow them to focus on efforts to get people, to get the smaller and smaller amount of people that have not voted out. So there is a small reason to vote and get your name off that list.
No, that's a reverse Nirvana fallacy. I think the GOP. I was the vice chair of Loudoun County Republican Party, and I quit because what you're just. Yes, they are all saying that. Donald Trump saying that. JD Vance is saying that. I don't care if I stand on this island alone. Everyone is being retarded about this. It doesn't make it doesn't make sense. The ballot harvesting, the knowing. Oh, now we know who voted where, so we can point resources at other things. We're still dealing in the fair fight. Unless we admit that we're cheating, I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap about who voted, so we can get them off our book and point our door knockers and colors at someone else.
Yeah.
We're using it to try and do that. The left is using it to cheat, to say, hey, we screwed up last time. We had to pretend that a water main broke so we could get those 10,000 ballots where we needed. We don't have to deal with that anymore. We know exactly where to send those ballots.
You think the potential for fraud outweighs the benefit that the GOP is getting from it, is what you're saying?
I know it does. As someone who has professionally done battle planning, where our enemies need to say, these are the 10,000 targets. While they're worrying about that, in my office, when we say, hey, we're only considering these 7 targets, our job is infinitely easier because they're. And this is directly applicable to the elections, because it used to be the left is saying, hey, which of these 10,000 targets? Now they have the same information that we're trying to exploit to be better stewards of our donor dollars. They're using to perpetrate fraud. And it's like.
But that's an argument against the change in the system, which I agree with you on. My argument is your specific vote. Why it would be a bad thing for you to do that.
It would be of no consequence if I voted early or on the day. So there's no one is gonna. This is weird, but I mean, at least in Virginia, I'm a very well-known figure. No one is gonna knock for Joe Eliza Mobley or call for Joe Eliza Mobley. They know. I think if you type Joe Mobley into Google, a picture of me in a MAGA hat is going to be in the top row for sure.
I mean, it's all data that's aggregated. I mean, they know I'm a Republican too, so I'm a precinct delegate, but I still get junk mail, phone calls, texts, all that stuff.
Oh, you do? I do get the text. You're right about that. I don't get the knocks or I do get the text.
What state again? You said Virginia? Is that a battleground state right
now? They're saying no, but in reality, Virginia historically votes anti-second term presidents, period. Clinton's second term, Virginia put in a Republican.
You think he's going to go red?
I think it's a wild card because we've had back-to-back 4-year terms, which is wild. But it also makes things really weird for Virginia.
So I'm just going to read this from Angel Berber. Grid one before you end, maybe stop by Rob's stream. Alex Stein and Andrew are on there hanging out. I'd actually really like to, but I don't know how I can do that while I'm over here, since I didn't set it up in the first place to do that, other than sharing my screen and start it, doing some other stuff like that, which I don't know. I'm not going to run long tonight. I'm going to end probably a little early. I've been trying to get on Rob's stream off and on throughout the day, just as I had time. But he's always been busy and had really cool people on, so it's no problem. As far as the election goes, I mean, look, we've been talking about this for months now, and it's coming down to the wire. And I really do believe that I personally believe Virginia is. I think there's a higher percentage chance that it goes red. I originally thought that maybe it wouldn't, but we'll see. Angel, if you're over there, put in a good word for me and see, and maybe they'll. I tell Rob I sent him I sent him a message on Discord, and I'll be glad to come up. It's no problem. I can share screen. I just don't know. They've already got 4 people up, and I know how it is, man. You don't necessarily want everybody up there. But anyway,
Well, it's after 11 now. I'm gonna turn into a pumpkin.
well, it's not 11 here.
Well,
Plus, you got that. It's the time change.
Oh yeah, you got an extra hour.
Didn't Congress say that they were doing away with that like several years ago,
They say
and
that
it's still
every
here?
time.
They say a lot of things.
They passed the act.
They also said that they were going to reduce our income taxes, Joe. Have you ever seen that happen?
Yeah, really.
I'm just saying. They could say a lot of things.
Yeah, the Sunshine Protection Act is the gayest name for it. Oh my gosh. This is my last thing. I gotta go to bed. My eye is like, you guys ever get that like twitch in your eyelid?
Glass of bourbon.
That is what the problem is. I'll have my glass of bourbon for Tuesday and Thursday.
All right.
Yeah, this act it hit what, 2000? Okay, so that was last year. Whew. 36 sponsors. Oh no, 36 co-sponsors. Our government's fake. What am I even doing? Why am I wasting my time?
So that's funny, Joe. That's funny. It's just when you think you're out, they drag you back in.
Yeah. Would you guys, if you guys had the opportunity to join the agency, would you?
Which one?
The agency.
NSA, CIA, DI.
NSA is not the agency. The CIA is the agency. NSA is
under
the
what
agency.
capacity?
Okay. Yeah, actually, I probably would. I probably would have. I'm too old now, but.
All right, cool. I'll send you guys some links. No, just kidding. Send you guys some links.
We've been.
You'll drive.
The problem is
drive to the end of a dirt road, and leave your phone in your car and get on the boat.
That's pretty funny. I actually had a friend of mine that went to Yale that was recruited into the CIA, and he was a pretty good guy. Weird, squirrely, but pretty good guy. I don't know that he worked out there, but for all I know, he probably did. So, but anyway, Joe, my week is real simple, man. I'm going to do my show on Monday, daytime, 3 hours. We're going to talk money, election, all that kind of stuff. And then we're going to Wednesday, I have the ANCAP guy. That's going to be cool. I don't even know what we're going to talk about yet because it's not like a debate or confrontation or anything. I'm really just kind of curious about. It's going to be more like an interview. I need to let him know that so he doesn't get all psyched up to have a debate battle. I'm actually really curious how you resolve ANCAP in the modern world. And then Thursday afternoon we'll do the normal finance. Probably we're going to talk about how people look at money and debt and why they're probably wrong, but that's okay. And then and then Friday, I'm hesitant to book another guest for Friday since I'll have one Wednesday, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll try and book another guest. I was really salty last night because the guest I had didn't show up. I'm going to try and get the guy that worked for Bear Stearns to come on.
I can't do this Friday since I'm doing 2 shows, but maybe next Friday. Also, let me connect you with some guests. I know some people that you should have on.
I'd like to actually have Samantha back on if she has a good topic.
She's full of good topics.
Yeah, but they got to work on my show too. I don't have ovaries.
I
so-
want to do this topic, and I gotta go because now my baby bladder's activated. I want to do: should men help women do women's work?
There's some
Mm.
context.
And
First, you got to define women's work.
There's definitely an it depends in there.
there's a case for no, hard no,
Yeah,
because
there is.
women typically don't. I can't get into it now, but
Yeah, yeah.
we would need to define what women's work is.
We'll talk about it this week. I've got some I've got some good topics rolling around that probably wouldn't work for my show, but I'll see what.
Yeah, man, don't threaten me with a good time.
I know.
All right, later, guys. Grid, great show as always.
See you, man. Have a great rest of your night. It's been a chill stream. So, and
Pleasure
don't stay
hanging
up
out
all
with you,
night
Joe.
watching Rob Noor. He's going to be up till 8 o'clock.
No,
tomorrow.
I'm watching Fallout on Amazon because
I
I've
watched
never
that.
seen it.
It was actually pretty well done.
That's what everyone says. So I'm like, okay, I'll freaking watch it.
It's not like
Yeah.
there's a couple places where I felt like they could have gone a little harder, but then I realized they were waiting. The kids were going to watch it, but yeah,
Exploding heads and all wasn't hard enough.
yeah, no.
Well, it was a pleasure hanging out with you, Joe.
Likewise. Take it easy, guys.
All right, see you, Joe. Have a great weekend. And then there were two.
Yeah.
Evan O'Brien ran away before we could get him up here.
Are you
Just
sure?
want to point that out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's not here.
I haven't seen him post, but he could.
I haven't seen him either post either.
Paging Evan.
Stepfire also has not been up yet.
Evan is still in the chat.
But he's not up here.
That's true. And was it Stepfire that had the child?
Yeah, he said as soon as he put his kid to bed, he was going to be done.
Okay.
I only have let's see, because I need to jump off by 11 tonight. Yeah, I got like 40 minutes. I got like 40 minutes. We can do a couple of questions.
Okay.
Come along, folks. As a huge Fallout fan, the show was awesome. It was. I actually am not a Fallout fan, but I thought the show was really good.
I never played the games, and I have never seen the show.
How many people actually watch TV now? I never watch TV, and I really don't even watch YouTube. I'm too busy. I don't have the time. I listen to a lot of stuff, but I don't get to watch it.
The only time I watch actual television now is when it's live sports. And even then, sometimes not. Like right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'll watch Amazon Prime occasionally. There's streaming services, but as far as actual TV, yeah, it's all garbage pretty much now.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And even then,
Tiki Tack says he watches a lot of YouTube, but he doesn't watch anything related to news media. That's probably good.
Yeah, that's true. Even though everything's kind of got news now. I mean, you look at all the kids. I say kids like I sound old, but all the people that are younger than us, pretty much watching Stephen Colbert or a lot of those other shows. They get their news from there, and it's not a news show. It's been brainwashing, but that's where they get it.
So I'm gonna answer Angel Berber first. So I'm gonna get into that. A lot of fun on the chill streams. Found out Grid actually plays video games every now and then. I really don't. I actually don't play any video. I haven't played a video game in probably 5 years, maybe 6. But my son plays occasionally, and I know that he he'll play. I just kind of know what they are. I've never actually played Fallout or any of those games. So, where were we? What were we talking about before that came in?
Streaming and people getting their news from there.
Yeah. So I actually, like, if I want to know something, I try and get it from the source. So, like, I try really hard to get, like, the congressional hearings, I like to watch the congressional hearings. I don't like to see the clips. I don't want to see the gotcha moments or anything like that where people just edit it together for effect. If I want to hear what they if and what I found is that I it's probably like 4 or 5 years ago that I was making a big deal about some what I'd seen in some congressional clips, and I got called out on it, and the guy sent me the entire 30-minute testimony. And I watched it, and he was right. The clip had been clipped together from 4 or 5 different pieces, and it wasn't what it was it didn't represent things accurately. And after that, man, if I want to, like if they have 2A legislation or taxes or the Mayorkas in, inquiry, things like that, I'll actually watch the hearings live because they put them up. They're on live. So why wouldn't I watch that stuff? Right? It's
I've
kind of boring, but
I've actually found that I tend to see more interesting things watching them directly than what I see clips
yeah,
of. And not
I
only that, but
kind of
you're
agree.
no longer being controlled by what other people want you to see, which
Right?
tends to happen
Yeah,
through narration.
yeah. The really interesting part of it is what and what I'll do is I will start. I'll be out working in my garage, or I'll be working out here doing editing or something, and I won't have a screen, but I will have the hearing up in the background, and then I can just listen to it as I'm working.
Hmm.
So that way, again, yeah, as Angel Berber says, I have the full context. I don't have um I don't have like some biased I mean already I am biased, but I don't have a biased clip giving me information that's pre-interpreted for me. So I
Yeah.
really like that. And
Only problem with that is there's too many things to watch and not enough time.
yeah, that's why you really have to like and so like when I watched the Mayorkas hearings, the thing I was really wanting to see was I really wanted to see what's his name, Jim Jordan, the other guy, the
Josh
older guy,
Hawley, older
yeah,
guy.
I think it's Holly, and then um, fuck, I'm just tired, man.
Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz, thank you. I really wanted to see those three question him because I knew that they weren't going to pull any punches and that they were going to have documentation that was probably the least biased documentation that would be in the hearing. And the way I don't know if you saw the footage or if you listened to it or if you saw it, the way Mayorkas just shut down and shut up um, when they were asking him questions, he would just say, "I don't know. Um, I'm not sure what you're asking." He never answered the question directly, which to me meant that he was guilty as fuck.
Yeah. And I
Right?
gotta address what Stepfire just said. So Mr. Trey Gowdy, uh, I liked Trey Gowdy. Don't get me wrong;
Hmm.
he's done a lot
Yeah,
of
I
good
like Trigger.
things.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that if you go back and you watch him defend the FBI and I believe even the CIA, but he definitely defended the FBI uh, for the Russia collusion stuff, all the investigations into Trump. He defended the FBI to a point where I think I lost all respect for him. And he left shortly thereafter. I think he knew that he effed up, and I think he dishonored himself by doing that. I think he meant well. I think he maybe has connections in the FBI and he wanted to see or he probably thought the FBI still needed to be a department that needed to be seen as full of integrity when they
Yeah,
should have been held accountable.
I agree with that.
Um, and I think he was wrong. I think they should have been held accountable, and I think you need to call it out when there's a problem. And I think
Well,
he failed us on that.
I think he was probably a little biased, and he let that bias get ahead of himself. But that his ability to prosecute witnesses was second to none.
Yeah, it was
and
great.
he was really, really good at not getting pushed aside or anything like that. So
Yeah, but he took the side of the FBI when he shouldn't have, in
Mhm.
my opinion.
yeah. So the last few minutes here, guys, I'm just spitballing here. It seems like that I've listened now to 5 or 6 different people talk about having a debate channel and or a debate forum, and something that was different than verbal combat, and was more serious, more like a modern day debate without the nonsense, I guess. Which, by the way, have you watched much modern day debate recently?
Is that the name of a show, or are you
Yeah,
just
that's the
speaking?
name of the show. Yeah.
I've never seen it. Who is this
Okay.
modern day debate?
Yeah. 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 I watched it. I watched it, and then I didn't watch it, and then I watched a debate on there about a week ago, and it just wasn't that good. I thought the moderation was on the weak side. Um, I think I don't know. I don't know what they were trying to accomplish. It just seemed not very good.
Who's on modern day debate? Like, who's host?
I forget the host name.
Hmm.
I think there are 2 hosts, but the one that was there that night was I can't think of his name, but I've seen him on there before. And then forget who was debating,
I'll have to take a look because maybe I'll recognize.
but it was just a terrible. It was a terrible debate.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it just wasn't moderated very well. And I think one of the things about, if you're going, all right, so here's the thing. You can either have a circus debate like verbal combat, where where it's meant to have an element of comedy, for lack of a better word, thrown into it, to keep people interested, and so it's kind of a carnival act, and
Yeah,
that's cool.
it's like entertainment.
I like verbal combat. I think it's definitely entertainment. It's definitely great. I think it's a great place for people to chill on Friday night. And if it didn't go to 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, I would probably go on there.
And that
But
speakeasies thing, right? That you're talking
yeah,
about.
speakeasy thing, and he does a really good job of it. But you keep seeing these shows start, um, coming up, and they're trying to replace modern day debate. And there's a couple other debate shows that kind of offer moderation for people who want to debate. And I don't know, man. Like, even the show that Rob was on, Rob Noor was on last week, and I forget the name of the show that he was on, but it was him and someone else versus 2 liberals debating the I think it was Trump versus Kamala. Why are you voting that direction?
Mhm.
And the liberals were just so bad fit. I think actually that's the debate I'm talking about. I think it was Rob Noor and somebody else versus 2 liberals, on a 2v2 debate. I think it was modern day debate. And it was just not that good. The moderators just didn't care. Yeah, Tiki Tak's right. They're just lazy, complacent. They have audio issues. I think the standards are just really low. And I think that, moreover, I think that they don't I think that they're trying to milk the product for humor more than actually. Yeah, the poetry dude, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, the poetry guy. And it was it was just a terrible debate. So anyway, I don't mean to get off on the modern day debate topic, but I know, look, Grace Thorpe the other day was talking about a debate channel, which I actually thought she had a good idea. I don't know how well it would have worked for her to do it,
Yeah.
but it was a good idea. Well, actually, and honestly, I think she could do the part that she wants to do. She just needed a teammate to partner with her and have it done.
Well,
Yeah, I watched it live too, Stepfire. It was very good. Rob tore that dude apart.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
But Stepfire, come on, admit the moderation sucked. The moderation sucked.
Well, and with the Grace thing, I know I watched the stream the other day, and I think she wants her father to be involved with her in a team kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think he doesn't really want to, and he's kind of trying to get her to go out and do her own thing. Is kind of the vibe I'm getting. But if it is a debate thing, I could see her having her father on for that. If he,
Well, I mean, I don't. Well, look, here's the thing. Ben likes to debate, but there's nobody that'll put him on. Nobody will platform him right now because the first thing that happens when somebody like if you and I are debating and you are losing and you want to go ad hom, there's really not a whole lot you're going to be able to ad hom. I'm fat, I'm ugly, I wear hats all the time, like whatever. There's really not a lot to work with there, right? With Ben, the very first thing that's going to happen if somebody's losing is they're going to go right to the
diddling his
the incest, the
if it's
divorce.
true, which I don't believe it.
Whether it's true or not. Look, whether it's true or not, it's going to
you're right,
become a dumpster fire. But worse is that whoever's channel that they're on could get nuked because of that, right? And so depending on how, because you can't, I mean, come on, man. Some of the, especially a leftist debater, they will literally spurg and nuke your channel. And it just doesn't matter to them. They don't care. So
if their channel's not nuked, why would the channel they're going on get nuked?
Yeah, see? Yeah, right. You got it. So I think the interesting so Ben's in a quandary, right? I get it. I think everybody gets it. I think that if you had strong moderation, you could, before it got to the point where Ben was what's the word I'm looking for?
Target?
No, before it was it doesn't matter. Before it became a problem, you could head it off. A good moderator could head it off and say, look, you can't, don't break TOS or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, I think you have two polar opposites. You have to either have strong moderation or you have to have verbal combat. You can't have
right. Yeah, no, exactly. And that's my point. I just don't know that we have. Well, I don't. And so what Grace's idea was to have a moderator. And she was obviously, she was like, oh, you could do it. And I'm like, I don't know. But basically have a moderator and she would be it would be a professional production. So you'd have your debaters, whether it was a 2v2, 3v3, 1v1, whatever it was. You'd have your debaters, you would have your moderator, and then you would have her as a commentator on the debate so that so that it would make it easier for people who do not understand debate to follow along and understand and all of that. I think it's a really good concept. And I think that she would probably be really good at it. But she dropped it because I think, first of all, it's very hard for her to find someone to work with her on it because nobody trusts her, right? It's very hard when you have thrown everyone that's tried to help you under the bus. It's hard to get people to help you. Cam, I agree with that. I think, basically, and look, I don't know, MC, if you've heard my take on this, and my take is colored a little bit by what I've been told by Andrew and some others, that knew Ben, who watched this whole thing happen from the Crucible and whatever. And basically, it's that, somebody at some point made an accusation that Ben and Grace were too close. And rather than do the thing that would have killed the whole story and say, no, we don't do that, man. Come on. What are you, stupid? Instead of doing that, Ben kind of leaned into it. And he never actually admitted doing anything. And I don't believe that anything ever happened. But he never actually he did not at that time come out and clearly state, no, nothing happened.
Well, and this is where the no publicity is bad publicity thing goes wrong. I think this is an exception to that, where
Yeah.
you have to recognize that that's not going to be a winner.
Right. And, so he enjoyed the controversy that it brought, but then the controversy turned to, which it always will in these cases, hatred and a lot of judgment. And so even though he's not been charged with anything, there's no proof of anything, everything's, gone away. Which I believe. I mean, I do believe that he didn't do anything. I do believe that. But it doesn't matter what people believe. It's what you can prove, because other people are going to believe something different.
Well, in
They're
his
gonna
case,
believe
it
the
matters what
easiest
people
thing.
believe. I think that's
It's the lazy that you have to worry about, right? Because they're just going to accept whatever you tell them. And so, and now it's come back to haunt him, I think. But I think Grace had a good idea for a show. I'm watching Proncess do the same kind of thing with Torsia. Torsia was trying to do something like that. It seems like there's a bunch of people right now kind of not stumbling around. That's really not the right verbiage to use, but for lack of better verbiage at this time of day, because I'm really tired, they're just kind of stumbling around looking for the next way to make money, right?
yeah, exploring.
The next, so whether that's a debate stream, hosting these speed dating things that they were doing, which I thought was weird and kind of garbage. Pardon me. Excuse me. So whatever it was, whatever their whatever the show, whatever the ideas are, none of them have really stuck.
You're saying that she wanted to be commentator. Is that like a post-production commentator?
No, it would be live, right? So it'd be
How would that
like
work?
if you and I were having a debate, right? We would have, say, Silvar Ogre as our moderator, right? And so the way it would work is that you and I could hear each other. Silvar could hear both of us, and Grace could hear both of us, but we couldn't hear Grace. So she would be broadcasting, her sound would only go to the audience.
Yeah, but then she would have to compete with speaking, and we wouldn't know if we were competing with her.
No, we wouldn't be
Or air.
competing.
No, but we would be talking, and she would be talking also.
No, she can hear us. So
Yeah.
she would not talk while we're talking.
Well, she wouldn't try to.
Or try to. And then, but she would give a blow by blow. So like if I were starting an internal critique, she would explain what an internal critique was, how, why I was doing it, what the direction I wanted to go, whatever.
And where would she have the time to inject all this while there was a debate going on?
Oh, there's always time in debates where people are there's dead air while people figure out what to say. So, she could just, speak and like any other announcer. You know, um,
I suppose you could have planned pauses in the debate for the commentator to do her thing.
yeah, Raging Patriots, right? She went around to everybody, and basically nobody trusts her to do this.
Hmm.
And
I
it's
can't
not
say I
because it's a
blame
bad
them.
idea. I mean, Sarah thought it was a great idea. I think it's an idea that deserves some merit, right? I mean, it has merit and deserves it could be made to work.
Mhm.
And she would be good at it. The problem is how do you trust somebody that has
Yeah,
literally bitten every hand that's that's tried to help her,
yeah.
you know?
That is unfortunate because it is a experiment that has not been tried to my knowledge. So,
Yeah, I think it would be really good, right? So,
and even if it
and
isn't, just having tried it, would be good.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, Raging Patriots, right? Your past doesn't go away and it follows you everywhere.
Hmm.
So,
As it should.
so I think the problem with the debate reactions is they're not in real time, so people can't see them. So that's kind of what happens. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's a really good idea. I think it's, um, kind of being a commentator, blow by blow person, it kind of works out. Um, but at the, if you're going to do a debate show right now, you're going to have to come up with something that's really slick, really professional. Um, and the closest there is to that is the Crucible. And the thing is that it's going to be hard to compete with the Crucible on the debate in the debate sphere.
I think that's true, but I don't think it'd be hard to have a debate channel, except if you don't have good moderators. I think moderation is key. You have to be able to
Yeah.
moderate.
Yeah, and that's so one of the projects that I had penciled in was to do a debate channel. That's why I listened to this. What's up, Chaotic Truth? You want to come up? I'll throw a link out there for you. I'm gonna throw it out there and just for you, man. Don't but so none of you other guys jump on none of you other guys jump on that. But Chaotic Truth can if he has time, he may be too busy. No, I mean I'd do a debate. Um I've moderated a couple of debates. I enjoy it, but um it's I don't know. I thought about doing it, and one of the reasons why the thing with that Grace had proposed kind of appeals to me is I do think that it's hard to get people who do not understand debates to actually watch them very long and understand who won, why they won, or why they should win, or where how to look at it and all of that. So I don't know.
There's probably some truth to that.
Yeah, no, I think it is. I think the real problem that I have with again, the problem isn't that I don't think Grace could do it. My problem is I don't like the idea of working with Grace.
Trusting her.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
I think that's pretty understandable. I think most people can understand that.
Yeah. I don't know, Angel Berber. I think that Andrew's not doing as many debates, and he's certainly not hosting as many debates as he used to. Um, and Jake Rattlesnake is coming up. I think that's why Andrew's kind of backing Jake. And Jake, Jake is kind of getting out of the travel vlog TV kind of stuff that he was doing and wants to do something a little more serious. And Rob is just Rob. Rob's amazing, So
I think it only stands to benefit the community though to have more moderators, more hosts,
yeah.
because you're going to have people you just naturally don't like
Mhm.
the way that they moderate or debate, and
Yeah.
I think it's undersaturated, not oversaturated in the debate market right now.
Yeah, I think so. I think you have to have somebody who's pretty neutral to moderate the debate. That's actually like neutral and not, you
Yeah,
know. Raging Patriot says he agrees with me on Grace's idea. It's a good idea, but she fucked herself. Absolutely. Again, and look, I'm going to be honest here, guys. I think my personal opinion, Grace could come back from all of this if she would just stop. If she could just be real and genuine and prove to people that that's
Yeah.
what she wanted to do. But the problem is that she's going to have to find someone to trust her and not fuck that person over.
Yeah. She has a lot of potential. She is smart. She just
Oh yeah, no,
needs to
she's super
stop
smart.
smoking and
Yeah, she's
hacking,
super
coughing,
smart.
and she needs to stop playing games, grifting, and
Well, look, I get where she's at, right? Like I understand. I've watched people go through this where all they have is the grift, man.
yeah.
And there's just nothing else, and they cannot change. They cannot, because for them that is air. Like you can't stop breathing, bro. And this is their air.
I don't know. I guess it's because I don't exist in the podcast world. But working a normal job, you don't have to grift. You just work.
Well, for her to work a normal job, I think is the key. And I kind of have to wonder the way their streaming schedule seems to be. I kind of wonder if she doesn't have a job.
Hmm.
So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. I think she's got a lot of potential in the future if she can change her reputation around a little bit.
Yeah. And I think I think even Ben, I think Ben can pull himself out of this as well. I
I
don't think
agree.
that they're in, I've I've heard everybody rage about them and talk about how bad they are. And I've heard people just rave about them and tell how great they are. They're such nice people. I don't know if they're nice people. I don't really care. I'm not eating dinner with them, you know.
Well, and they attract clout chasers too, and that doesn't help them.
Yeah. I don't really like clout chasers at all.
No.
So, but I don't know. I think that the problem is at this point they've kind of fucked over a lot of people. But here's the truth: in this world, there's always somebody new to fuck over. It doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter whether we're talking race cars, streaming, whatever. There's always someone new to fuck over. That's just the way it is. MC, you want to give out your final words, man? We're going to call it a night. It is that time of, whoa, wait, there we go. Hold on, wait, stop. What kind of idiot ever said anything nice about the Thorpes? They're unironically no shit, mentally deranged weirdos. Yeah, I mean that's true. That's probably true. They're definitely fuck. I mean, they're just definitely weird. The Thorpes are not great. They're not great.
But they could change.
Yeah, anyone
I
can
don't think it's
change.
going to happen overnight.
Anyone can change, but here's the thing though. So many people have tried to help them. Andrew's tried to help them several times.
Yeah, that's true. 100%.
And they fuck him every time. What's up, Mr. E, bro? I mean, this is the thing, right? This is the thing. How many times do you have to have your hand smacked before you get the idea?
Yeah. And they should know anyway. A lot of this stuff is really obvious.
Yeah. Again, I don't think they're particularly bad people. And I think they want. The thing is, I think they want to have a good life. I think they want to do the right thing. The unfortunate part of it is, I don't think at this point it's too easy for them to do the wrong. It's far easier for them to do the wrong thing than to do the right thing.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Like way easier. And I can't think of and as I just said a few minutes ago, I don't know for sure, but I think that literally everybody that has tried to help them has been fucked over at some point. What's up, Sport Brand? I see you out there, man.
Hey, Sport Brand.
Yeah. So
You wanted me to give my final words? Call it a night.
Well, now I got to wait on Mr. E to
Respond.
to respond. Yeah.
I think
Which
he's
parts?
duke-
Oh, he's talking to the chat.
Yeah, I think he's
We
duking
all
it
have a
out
village idiot.
with
Yeah,
Juice.
we all have a village idiot.
Which have we ever seen Juice? Is Juice new?
Juice is pretty new. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he hasn't come up or anything.
So he's not just here to troll Mr. E.
No, he's not just here to troll. He's been here several times. I mean, he might be.
Yeah, I think we picked that up, Mr. E. I think we picked
I'm
that up.
done. Just not a fan of those people. Yeah, it's hard to be a fan, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you kind of want, it's a weird thing for like.
You want to root for him, but you can't because they're just
No, man. Initially, so my first impression of the Thorpes was Ben coming on my stream and kind of starting shit with Andrew, and Andrew's like my boy, and if he says they're done, they're done, and so that was and it's a great clip. You got to see, it's hilarious how that happens. And so I kind of put Ben out of sight, out of mind. And as far as I was concerned, he was a criminal, like
Mhm.
he's a criminal. Not that that's necessarily a hugely bad thing. It's just, you committed a crime, therefore you are a criminal, or you've been, yeah. And so, at the end of the day, I just sort of wrote him off. And then Grace, yeah, I agree with that, mystery. So Grace was then on Glen Street. Grace was somewhere, and somehow she came on my show, and all she did basically the entire time that she was on my show was make weird, like, sexually suggestive comments towards one of the other guests, Teriak, I think. Yeah, I don't think he's ever been convicted, but charged.
Yeah, and
Actually, I think he has been convicted. I don't know. I think he lost one, but I don't know that for sure.
Well, that's what I meant, Mr. E. Is when I said root for them, I'm talking about rooting for them to stop doing that low tier troll shit. And
you're talking about rooting for them in a Christian way of, hey, be a better person. Yeah, I got you. Be a better person, guys. That's all. Just be a better person. And so I lost, like, I just didn't like. So I just don't like people like that. Like, I don't want to be around them. I don't care. Like, so I kind of just put her out of my head. As far as I was concerned, she was just another internet hooker that I just didn't care about. Right. Okay. I believe that, Juice. I'm not up on it. I haven't cared enough to learn. That's my understanding, mystery as well. But and then they kind of harassed Glenn, and they were going to do the debate, and the debate didn't happen. But and I've been on panel with Ben and Grace a few times, and they've been when I've debated Ben on like CT's panel, he's acted in good faith, and he's not been a douchebag about it. So in that way, I was I don't dislike them. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't really
trust them.
Yeah, don't trust them.
Yeah, and nor would I. I mean, I told
And
you
I've
the
been
other
watching,
day when
so I've been on their stream a couple of times. I just been kind of talking to them and watching them and see what see what they're doing.
Well, like the other day when I told you they were talking about you, I mean, they're kind of talking shit about you, and I'm just like,
yeah,
okay, why? How is this going to help them at all?
Yeah. Yeah, they were talking shit about me, but it was minor. Who cares?
No,
You know,
you only listen to after I talk to you, though, right?
I'm sorry.
You only listen to what they were saying after I messaged you, though, right?
I think I went back a little bit,
Okay.
but I don't know. I don't know.
Because when you got on, it was like, oh, hey, you know.
Oh
we're
yeah,
cool
yeah.
now.
That's
And
always what happens, man.
I was like, what the hell?
It was funny because so I don't know even how I got brought into it, but the Thorpes were doing some weird stream about some girl that some drug addict chick or whatever. Fuck, I don't know. And somehow they were watching her stream, and somehow my name came up. So I went over there. I went over to that stream, and I was like, I heard my name taken in vain. And they changed the subject, like literally right then. They just changed the entire subject.
I agree with Tiki Tack. I feel like I have to take a shower after I watch the Thorpes. It's probably the cigarettes.
Yeah. It could be the cigarettes. It's a lot of cigarette smoking. Could be something else too.
The coughing, you know, all that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing. Nothing really. I mean, I neither love nor hate the Thorpes. To me, they're just people. I had lag earlier. K2, keep on trucking. I appreciate seeing you out in the chat. I feel bad, but I'm gonna have to. I gotta jump off, guys. I've got a ton of stuff to do tomorrow. And you know, of course, Rob Noor is live. Mr. E, good seeing you in chat, man. I actually need to have a discussion with you at some point. Maybe just a quick chat, just some randomness. I'm just kind of thinking about. And Juice, good to see you in the chat. Everybody, actually, it's good to see everybody in the chat. Glad to have a nice chill stream. It was good. It was good. And this week's going to be a busy week for everyone. Or it's going to be, pardon me, everyone. It's going to be a busy week for me. It's going to be a lot of good shows. The only show that I'm curious about right now is Friday. If you have somebody you'd like to see on as a guest, you know, that'd be cool. I might have Outspoken Samantha on again. That would be great. If not, we'll find something. But Wednesday night, we're going to have an ANCAP guy on. I can't wait for that. It's going to be a great discussion. And you guys, yeah, it's going to be good. MC, you got any final words, man? Wrap this thing up.
Yeah, I'm just going to say, if you haven't gotten out and voted yet, you're only going to hear this for a few more days, but please get out and vote. Yeah,
absolutely. If you haven't voted, Tuesday may be your last chance. Do your jobs. Go vote. Tiki Tack, good to see you out there. Siege D, glad you're in the house. If you haven't voted, go vote. If you do not vote, don't bitch. And other than that, guys, it's been a great night, but it's got to come to an end. I don't really care where you go, but you can't stay here. And you know, be cool. Wear glasses if you need them. And enjoy this clip of Andrew laughing his ass off while you get off my lawn. And see.
Yeah, I just answered your question. Can you tell me what epistemology means?
Epistemology is the study of the epistles. I mean, you can. I told you that a husband and wife is supposed to be the representation of God and the church. He said he's a husband. I asked him if he sees himself as the embodiment of God, and he said no. That doesn't make any sense.
Wait, what is the epistles?
The epistles are the apostles. Are you talking about the